The Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association presents Ohio County Fair Racing. Ohio County Fair Racing is brought to you by Big D's Tack and Vet Supply, Cool Winds Farm, Midland Acres, the Ohio State University Veterinary Medical Center, and thestable.ca. Now let's go trackside for all the action.
Good afternoon, racing fans, and welcome to Harness Racing at the Knox County Fair, Mount Vernon, Ohio. 9-race card coming your way this afternoon. First race post coming up in just a few minutes. Yours truly, Roger Houston, along with Jay Wolf, the knowledge guy.
I can't sign it.
Oh. Yeah, I can hear you.
That's right. Always a pleasure to be with you.
You were here Saturday, I believe.
Saturday evening. Much warmer today than it was Saturday.
Now, I've always considered, and see if you agree with me, this is one of the most beautiful settings for a county fair racetrack in the state of Ohio.
Yes, it sits in a bowl.
Now, you tell me that this lake has an actual name?
Google and did a Google Earth just to make sure I knew exactly how I was going to come today. And the lake is named Lake Hiawatha. I guess back in the late 1800s there was a Lake Hiawatha Park in which they had a restaurant and a resort. So
I'll be.
it was bankrupt in 1918.
In all the years I worked here back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I never once heard that, so nice to hear.
Like Keith Jackson from the banks of the Olentangy.
Ah.
The banks of Lake Hiawatha.
First race coming up, 2-year-old filly trotters, 8 of them. We'll be back with more in just a few moments.
The Knox County Fairgrounds in Mount Vernon, Ohio has been a popular place since 1895. The grounds were originally home to an amusement resort known as Lake Hiawatha Park. Guests would arrive at the front gates on a state-of-the-art electric trolley. The lake retreat was complete with a billiard and dance hall, theaters, restaurants, and a zoo. By the mid-20th century, the park fell out of fashion. The land would become home to the Knox County Fair. The fair dates back further than its establishment at Lake Hiawatha Park. Local township farmer clubs held gatherings as early as the 1840s. Those clubs would soon form the Knox County Agricultural Society and host the first county-wide fair. For several years, the fair moved from location to location. Grains, fruit, and livestock were exhibited for a single day at the town courthouse, in churches, or even the jailhouse property. The fair would outgrow all of these spaces and demand a permanent place to call home. In 1894, the fair made its move to Lake Hiawatha Park. One of the biggest advantages of the park was its racetrack. Automobile and horse racing were popular during this time. The county fair took advantage, hosting pacers and trotters annually. For 2021, the Knox County Fair holds 2 days of live action racing as a member of the Home Talent Colt Stakes.
History, tradition, For over 100 years, 2- and 3-year-old trotters and pacers have started their careers on the tracks of the Home Talent Colt Stakes. See the future stars of Ohio harness racing at one of the Home Talent's 15 tracks. The stars of tomorrow are racing at a track near you today. The Home Talent Colt Stakes. You can't win them if you aren't in them. Last year was unique in many ways. The Little Brown Jug isn't the same without you, the fan. Make plans now to attend this year's Little Brown Jug, where history is sure to be made and a new champion will be crowned. You win the Little Brown Jug! The 76th Little Brown Jug is Thursday, September 23rd. Please visit littlebrownjug.com or call 1-800-DEL-FAIR to learn more about ticket packages. Be there! Back here at Mount Vernon, 9-race card coming up with a lot of Home Talent Colt Stake action. And we're going to begin today with 2-year-old filly trotters, the first division. 2 divisions here. This is the first. Total purse, $12,064. This division will go for $6,082. The 8 horses that are going to the post, will point out that the 2, Vivid Heart, will have Keith Cash Jr. driving. Number 3, Toscano Girl, make the driver Jason Thompson. Those are the driver changes we have right now. Winners, Fancy Expressions won a qualifier at Scioto in 2:02 and 4/5. 2, Vivid Heart remains a maiden, does have a 3rd place finish in 2 starts. Toscano Girl, the 3, is a maiden, is 0 for 2. Been racing in the Buckeye Stallion Series at Northfield and Scioto. The star of the race is Toes in the Water, a winner of 2 straight Buckeye Stallion Series events, 2 minutes and a 5th at Northfield, 59 and 2 at Scioto Downs. Ty Loy, the trainer, this afternoon for the first time. Don Irvine Jr. will handle the lines. The 5-horse Let Her Roll, Brady Clemens, has back-to-back second-place finishes at Wellston and Carrollton. The 6, Oh So Dreamy, a winner at Bucyrus in 2-9 and 4 in a Home Talent race. A Royal Blast, this 7, has a 3rd place finish in a qualifier. Last 2 efforts, Buckeye Stallion Series, finishing 7th and 10th, made breaks last time out. And the 8 is Dynamis. Amon Hirschberger, the driver, was 2nd, beaten a nose at Hilliard's in 2:11, final quarter 32. So we've had some accomplished horses race and a few yet to reach their best stride here in the first, Jay.
It's interesting if you look at number 8, Dynamis, left from the 5-hole at Hilliard and was on top at the quarter by 10 lengths. So, not sure if they had breakers or what, but found himself on top by 10 lengths, was only leading by a length and a half at the 1/2 and 3/4, and as you mentioned, got nipped by a nose in 2:11. Number 4, Toes in the Water, was a $12,000 purchase at the Blooded Horse Sale, and with its 2 wins has now earned $17,500 and owns a mark of 59 and 2 at Scioto Downs in the 2nd leg of the Buckeye Stallion Series. That is by Long Tom, which is a first-year sire, and unfortunately, Long Tom's getting forgotten thanks to Down by the Seaside and Fear the Dragon's first year, but Long Tom is having a good first year as a stallion, too, here in the state of Ohio.
It's a shame, but in the sport, trotters have often taken the back seat to the pacers. And myself, I would much prefer to own a trotter than a pacer, because I always felt if you get a good trotter, you got a good chance of making some money. You get a good pacer, might not be good enough.
You need a good and a fast pacer. It's always interesting listening to your your podcast down the stretch, you always ask them. You always ask the drivers, would you like trotters or pacers? And all of them say a good gaited trotter.
Right. Yeah.
A good gaited trotter, they're not always easy to find. So.
And Chris Beaver will most definitely. Although Chris does have 2 or 3 pacers in his barn, primarily a group of trotters.
He had to tell his grooms, though, he needs the hobbles. He means the 2-legged hobbles and not just the trotting hobbles.
I wonder if he buys them by the dozen or truckload or, when we were up and doing Freshman Focus, I actually wanted to, I forgot about it until we left, but I wanted to go to a supply room and take a picture of all the trotting hobbles that he has. I know he has bunches that are brand new because Jennifer Brown one day was joking when we were talking with Brian Brown. She said, he breaks more trotting hobbles than anybody else, and that's because he has more trotting hobbles than anybody else. Fact is, he had just won the night before at Scioto Downs as a driver, and he finished the race with a pair of broken trotting hobbles.
Chris also likes the ear hoods, and he has red ones, he has blue ones, he has red with stars on them, he has blue ones with stars on them, so he has a wide variety of ear hoods too.
We found out yesterday, we were at Marysville, and he raced Riker's Caviar, and Riker's Caviar was a winner. Now, my remembrance from the Freshman Focus is that Riker's Caviar wore a red hood, jogging, training, just a distinctive red hood. And that's how we identified him a lot of times out on the racetrack with other yearlings. We raced there at Marysville yesterday, and he did not have a red hood on. Fact is, he didn't have a hood on. I was told, though, he did have earplugs instead. The other interesting part, the Bayless brothers, who live in Michigan, drove all the way from Michigan to Marysville, Ohio, to watch their Riker's Caviar race yesterday. And they were on the broadcast. We got a chance to talk to them, and they were thrilled beyond belief. They finished second in the Next Generation and made the trip down for yesterday's Ohio home talent stake, and was a winner as well.
I would love to have seen a head-on view of the stretch drive there in the Next Generation, because if you remember, Aaron Merriman laid on the left line. He was about 3 wide and ended up going into the passing lane. And
is that the one?
That's the one who did like a 90-degree turn and came down the passing lane.
I forgot which horse, but I made the comment to somebody, and so it was Riker's Caviar. I never have seen a trotter trot as fast as he did, making that kind of a move in the last 16th of a mile.
Yeah, I talked to Chris after the race, and I said, obviously that's a much more talented 2-year-old, because you never could have laid on a left line without, almost like an aged pacer going into the passing lane there.
Now, yesterday, Chris Beaver was the driver of Riker's Caviar, and B.J. Roberts, his assistant, drove the other horse, and they finished 1-2. Mm-hmm. But it was a big thrill for those owners to make that trip.
When you see Chris Beaver in the bike, he's out there for an education too. Not for the driver, but for the horse. So.
Well, we got a couple out on the track. Looks like 3, maybe 4. We're looking for 8 2-year-old filly trotters here.
I'm counting 5, and one's coming down the hill. If you've never been here to the Knox County Fair in Mount Vernon, Ohio, we sit in the valley. If you look straight across the backstretch, there's a nice large hill in which we have some very mature trees, and thanks to the 90-degree forecasted temperatures, a lot of the folks are taking shelter under those trees.
And that is a normal circumstance. Yeah. Over the years, I can remember some Saturday nights where there might be a couple hundred people there, and around that first turn, people standing to watch the races. To our left, the grassy area. That is the building now is a trackside pub, but this is the first year they haven't had parimutuel wagering. And that area also, people would bring out lawn chairs, blankets, sit out in the grass.
Yeah, yesterday they were lined up all the way down to that RV, Roger. So they were all the way down past mid-stretch with lined up with lawn chairs. So
I just saw a woman go over to what is known as the trackside pub, and I think she was a bit disgruntled to find out there was no mutual wagering this year at the Knox County Fair.
we can't run the books, can we? The old auction. We could do the old auction.
I think we got enough on our plate.
They still do that in Ireland, don't they?
Oh, the bookies are galore. They'll have it as many as 5 or 6. And the trip when I went to Adelaide in Australia for the Inter-Dominion, they had 25 different bookies operating. Of course, they had a crowd of 15,000 people.
Jason Thompson. 8th race. Number 1, long time loving you, Jason Thompson. 8-1 gets Thompson.
Who was that?
8th race, number 1. One of those horses that you love. What's the name of that horse, Roger?
Long time loving you.
But it's all one word with no vowels.
Yeah.
So,
Who-
Jason Thompson.
who's driving?
Jason Thompson.
Jason. I got a text message the other day, I think it was at Carrollton, from Jason. He says, if you can get me any drives for the evening program, please do. I'm available.
And the power of Roger Houston.
He ended up with 7 drives that
There
night.
you go.
How bad are mine races?
For the first division 2-year-old filly trot. Trophy by the Cool Winds Farm, Lima, Ohio. $6,082. Number 1 is Fancy Expressions. David Vanetta, Mount Vernon. Sandy Beatty, Trains and Drives. Number 2, Vivid Heart. Top Shelf Staver, Brewster, Ohio. Herman Hagerman, the trainer. Make the driver, Josh Cash. Number 3, Toscana Girl. Downtown Stable of North Lawrence, Ohio. Marion Chump, the trainer, with Jason Thompson. Number 4, Toes in the Water. He's by Long Tom. Ty Lloyd, Columbiana Station. Roger Morlock, Valley City. Ty Lloyd does the training. The pilot, Don Irvine Jr. Number 5, Let Her Roll. Casey Clements, Mola, Ohio. Eric Nesselrode, the trainer, with Brady Clemens. 6 is Oh So Dreamy. Wishing Star Racing, LLC of Millersburg, Ohio. Trained and trained by Jimmy Smith. Number 7, A Royal Blast. Owned, trained, and driven by Jeremy Miller of Dalton, Ohio. And number 8, Diamis. Dan Hale, Utica High, Hale Trains. Hammond Hirschberger in the sulky. 1 minute till post.
I hope I've got this straight, but Brady Clemens is the grandson of Dwayne Lowe, who owned that good trotting mare, Final Breath. Brady told me this morning that his grandfather is in a nursing home and not
In the first
doing
race, I
best.
like the 4,
So our
Toes in
thoughts
the
and
Water.
prayers go out to
This
Dwayne
is the
Lowe.
first.
He's been a backbone of harness racing here in the state of Ohio. Even his dad, Raleigh Lowe, was heavily involved in racing over the years. So we wish the best to Dwayne Lowe and his wife, Carolyn. I understand Carolyn, she's just getting over a broken hip, so they've had a rough way to go the last few months. But Brady Clemens is one of these up-and-coming young drivers here in the state of Ohio, and he's driving this 5-horse, Let Her Roll,
We
28 years young.
They score 6 wide here, so the 7 and 8 are Royal Blast and Dynamis will race from the second tier. We invite everyone to go visit the OHHA webpage. In the middle column, there'll be an area that called Fair Meets and Programs. Click on that, and you can download a free program for today's races, so you can follow along with the numerous drivers changes that we have this afternoon.
Well, horses are going to the gate. 1 through 6 on the gate. 7 and 8 are trailers in the second tier. The Mike Wolkenberg starting gate. 2-year-old filly trotters. For the call, Chris Patterson.
Time for the first Knox County Fair. 7461, Chris.
Mowing. Someone's up there mowing, and then you're going into that valley. So you can watch that big old acreage up there.
They're off and trotting. Vivid Heart going for the lead. Up on the outside goes Tommaso Girl. Ducking third, Toss in the Water. Up on the outside from fourth, Jimmy Smith, Oh So Dreamy. In at the rail sixth. As they race down the backside, Fancy Expressions. Diamis and a Royal Blast. Down the back lane they go. And Cash has got Vivid Heart. The Long Tom filly leads the way. They're by the quarter in 32. Thompson setting second with Toscano Girl. The favorite Toes in the Water, and Don Irvine Jr. tipping to the outside from third. Racing fourth. Let's let her roll. Down the lane they come for the first time. And here comes the heavy favorite. Toes in the Water, and Irvine up on the outside to grab the lead. Vivid Heart second. Outside, Diamis fourth. Racing fifth, Tommaso Girl. 102 and 4. Racing on the inside, Oh So Dreamy. In at the rail sixth, let her roll. Trotting seventh. A Royal Blast and Fancy Expressions is your trailer. Down the back lane they go, and Irvine looking good with Toes in the Water. Opening up by 3. Vivid Heart chasing second. On the outside, Diamis third. Up the inside fourth. Toscano Girl. They got a little better than 8 to travel. On top, Toes in the Water. 3/4, 134 and 2. And Vivid Heart had a lot of trot, and he went off stride. They're at the top of the stretch, and it's all Don Irvine Jr. Toes in the Water. Gonna go 3 for 3 in her freshman year. She's a monster. She's a beast. Toes in the Water. Tommaso Girl. Let her roll gets the showdown.
So it's Toes in the Water continuing the winning ways. A 2-year-old filly, the Long Tom out of Royal Bikini, owned by Ty Loy and Roger Morlock of Columbia Station in Valley City, Ohio. Ty Loy, the trainer, Don Irvine Jr. in the sulky. Just proves that what a good filly she is, because Don McCurgan said
4.
Tyler Smith is driven
5.
Brian Stahl is driven her. And
32.
Irvine Jr. and all she does
102 and 4. 134 and 2. 204 and 2. Back half 101, last quarter in 30.
2/5.
She's a good one.
Final half.
Long Tom.
1 and 3.
Watch out for her this year. I touted you on him last year. This is the first year for
Beautifully
Perfect.
gated, that's for sure.
Perfect 3 for 3 for Toes in the Water.
Keith Cash Jr. with Vivid Heart sat in the pocket down the
Midland
backstretch
Acres.
and decided to pull out in the final turn, but took a bad step, made it much easier on Don Irvine Jr. and Toes in the Water.
Two-year-old filly trotters in 204 and 2/5. And for Don Irvine Jr., check the record book. He's done this year. The record book is up to date.
Moving back to the winner's circle.
The 6th win this season for Don Irvine Jr.
Trophy
as
by
a
the
driver.
Clemens Farm in Lima, Ohio. $6,082. Owned by Ty Loy. Columbiana Station. Roger Morlock. Valley City. Ty Loy, the trainer. Don Irvine Jr., the winning driver. Number 4, Toes in the Water. 2-year-old bay filly by Long Tom out of Royal Bikini. 3 for 3 in her young career. 59 and 2 at Soda Downs in the Stallion Series. And ladies and gentlemen, for the talented Don Irvine Jr., career win, 7,461. It's official. Fancy Expressions 8, Vivid Heart 6, Toscano Girl 2, Toes in the Water the winner, Let Her Roll 3, Oh So Dreamy 5, 7 Royal Blast 4, number 8 Dynamis was 7, 32, 102 and 4, 134 and 2, 204 and 2. Final half 101, last quarter in 30. 862, 135, 47 on the bottom. 204 and 2.
Don Irvine Jr.'s 6th win this season at the fairs, the initial win at the fairs for Ty Loy. Our second race coming up features 3-year-old Colt and gelding pacers in home talent cold action. The 5, Attaboy Chris, make the driver Alex Hawk. The 6, Bad Boys Rule, Sean Smith-Peters will drive.
Well,
back with more in just a few moments.
They made some.
Cool Winds Farm in Lima, Ohio is a full-service standardbred breeding facility that specializes in stallion management. Cool Winds Farm stands the popular Dancing Yankee, whose first crop hit the ground this year and are great-looking individuals. Cool Winds is also standing Rockin' Amadeus, sire of world champion Ocean Rock. Be sure to inspect the Cool Winds yearlings at the Ohio Selected Jug Sale at Pickaway on September 17th.
When you need supplies for your horse, one name stands out: Big D's. Since 1976, Big D's Tack and Vet Supply has been the equine experts you can trust. Whatever your horse needs is available at Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Visit the retail outlet in Streetsboro, Ohio, or order online at BigDWeb.com. Most orders shipped that day, or call 1-800-321-2142. Big D's Tack and Vet Supply.
Bow River Jewelry has been the premier designers of sulky jewelry for more than 30 years. We incorporate today's fashion designs to create a unique piece of jewelry only found at Bow River. Visit bowriverjewelry.com today. Many of these rings that I wear have been designed by Bow River Jewelry. I almost had the big one this morning. I get to Jay's there in Delaware, and I'm missing a ring. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's like the end of the world. Jay found the ring. Thank you, Jay.
Must have fallen out of your pocket.
Yeah. Oh, well. I take them off when I drive a car because I grip the steering wheel so hard that it hurts the fingers with the rings on. Anyway.
Well, Roger, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Number 5.
Hey, well, wait a minute. Let's say this. We are playing musical drivers here in the second. Musical drivers.
Well, I don't think you heard the latest.
Well, who in the world is Jason Thompson going to drive?
Well, first of all, a 5 Attaboy Chris was scheduled to be driven by Trevor Smith. It was announced that Alex Hawk would drive. Now it was announced that Jason Thompson will drive.
But he's already down on 3 or 4 other horses.
But you missed this. During the Bow River commercial, they announced Keith Cash Jr. will be driving the 5. So we have a change on top of the change on top of the change of top of the change.
It almost makes you want to think nobody wants to drive the 5.
Oh.
The 5 being Attaboy Chris. And if I remember correctly, won out of post position 8 at Delaware, Ohio last year with Doc Holliday.
That's right. Maybe
Attaboy
Doc should
Chris.
drive it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going from Trevor Smith to Alex Hawk to Jason Thompson to Keith Cash
Correct.
on Attaboy Chris.
Yes.
Sean Smith Peters is going to drive the 6, Bad Boys Rule, we think. Wyatt Irvine, we think, is going to drive the 8, Natural Gem. And Jason Thompson will remain the driver then on Flash Gordon, I would guess.
Yes. There will be a quiz at the end of the day.
Be sure you have this all correct in order.
And
Big prize.
And don't argue or don't complain to us. We're just relaying them as they come to us.
This is one thing that we've talked about county fair racing. I'll tell the story. When I was here at Mount Vernon one year, 7 different people came into the race office and said, so-and-so's driving my horse. And I said, there's no way he can drive all 7 horses. And they said, but he told me he would drive my horse. The rest of the story, there was 9 in the race. He drove one of the other horses that nobody even thought he was going to drive. If you think back real hard, the 70s and 80s, you might be able to come up with that driver. But his name will be withheld.
Withheld to protect the innocent.
Yeah. Drivers do have a tendency when an owner or a trainer comes up to me, hey, would you drive my horse at Mount Vernon? Yeah, I'll drive your horse.
Without thinking about where they're actually going to be on Monday afternoon. This is the first division of the 3-year-old Colt Pace. Total purse of $10,864. This division will go for $5,482. A field of 8 will go postward. Number 1 is VH Levi for Derek Wadaker. Broke last start at Carrollton, finished 4th, 30 lengths behind. Number 2 is So Rockin' Ravi in Brady Clemens. This horse was a winner last time out at Carrollton. Not sure if it was the evening card or the afternoon card, but number 3 is Flash Gordon. Now, Flash Gordon was a Lexington Select Sale purchase for $72,000. And
You
this
remember
horse,
Flash Gordon?
the movie or the series, the TV series?
The original radio show.
Lanny Merriman is the owner and trainer, and we were talking about Lanny's mustache. He has the best mustache in the sport.
And he would remember that radio show.
Number 4 is Dive Bar, out of the Ron Steck Sable for Mickey Holiday. This one was beaten by just a neck in its last start at Hilliard. Has been on the board last 3 starts, 2 of which were at Northfield Park and the non-winners of 2. Number 5 is Attaboy Chris, which we think will be driven by Keith Cash Jr. This horse was 4th last start at Hilliard, beaten 5 lengths, individually timed in 2 minutes and 2/5. Number 6 is Bad Girls Rule. Sean Smith Peters will get to drive.
Bad what?
Bad Boys Rule. I'm sorry. I was thinking Bad Girls Rule. Wasn't she a divisional champ a few years ago for Sanina Esty?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
But it could be.
So Bad Boys Rule.
Which was the subject of a Vicky Howard book.
Okay. And then starting in the second tier, number 7, Adalius McMoney. Herman Hagerman trains. Don Irvine will drive. This horse was 2nd at Carrollton, beaten 11.5 lengths, individually timed in 2:01 and 4. Winless in 11 starts this season. And rounding out the field, Natural Gem Wyatt Irvine will drive for Ty Loy. For the owners, Willis, Code, Loy, and Gregory. This horse has 2 wins and 23 career starts, is 0 for 12 this season.
To be politically correct, I think the book that Vicky Howard wrote was something to the effect, Women Like Bad Boys
Okay.
was the actual name of the book.
I'm pretty sure a few years ago there was a 2-year-old filly pacer that was divisional champ that was Bad Girls Rule, and Sanina SD bred that one, and
Now,
I see Sanina.
You told me Sanina's from
Utica.
Knox County.
That's Utica, Ohio.
Yeah.
So, what else is in Utica, Ohio? Since I know you and I both like this. The Velvet Ice Cream Factory.
Oh,
So maybe we need to make a pit stop.
you're driving. Jason Thompson, how you doing?
He is on the 3.
Flash Gordon, Yankee Cruiser out of Riley Character.
A couple broadcasts ago, you mentioned that the judges had a meeting with the drivers and asked the drivers to stay on the backstretch between the quarter pole in the top of the backstretch.
That was at Washington Courthouse, and one judge, and I thank that judge for his efforts because the post parades at Washington Courthouse were very nice. Now, here, Mike Wopenberg, where he is set up with a starting gate, he does his best to get them in the correct order for the post parade, and I believe that first race was right on.
Yeah, he could always put the wings of the gate out so they can't go all the way around.
Well, that's what happens. They come to the track, and you got some guys who go around the track all the way. We learned yesterday, Roy Burns was talking about how he does his training. He does not warm up any horses. What he does is when the race before his completes, he goes to the track immediately with the horse that's going to be in that next race.
Trophy by Utica
And
Feed and
has the
Hardware,
opportunity to jog 2 or 3
$5,482.
miles,
Number 1 is
turn,
VH Levi.
post-parade,
Tim Van Horn
and then
of
race.
Malta.
and
Van Horn trains the
we mentioned
driver
yes.
Derek
Here's your
Waddicker.
post-parade.
Number 2 is So Rockin' Ravi. Dick and Ryan Householder of Junction City. Eric Nesselrode trains the driver Brady Clemens. 3 is Flash Gordon, owned and trained by Lanny Merriman of Kent, Ohio, with Jason Thompson. The 4 is Dive Bar. Here's to us, Stable Miller's Pork. Chris Hodkins of Centerburg. Ronnie Steck, the trainer, the driver Mickey Holiday. 5 is Attaboy Chris, owned by Winchester Bay Acres Incorporated of Orlando, Florida. Trained by Darrell Hoosier, the driver Keith Cash Jr. Number 6 is Bad Boy Rules. Deb Persnight of Worcester, Ohio. Lonnie Graber, the trainer. The driver, Sean Smith-Peters. Number 7, Adelius McMoney. Herman Hagerman of Millersburg. Hagerman trains. The pilot, Don Irvine Jr. And number 8, Natural Jim. Dave Willis of Newark. Code of Newark. Ty Loy of Columbiana Station. D. Gregory of Utica. Ty Loy, the trainer. Wyatt Irvine in the sulky. They'll go right to the gate.
So Roger, because we had all the drivers changed, do they each get fined for the drivers change? So this horse could...
You know, major racetracks do fine $50 for a driver's change or a failure to show. So if they did that here at the fair,
Iowa State Racing Commission would love the number 5.
would be getting pretty rich off today's card.
If you were watching at home, they post paraded 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 4, 6, 8.
That's the new math.
Fuzzy
I'll
math.
give one driver I will give an excuse. Sean Smith-Peters. His horse was acting up in the post parade and jumping around, so I'll give him an excuse for being out of the order, but for the others, there were no excuses.
Yeah, Sean was
And you got to
actually...
watch what you say, because one time last year I said something about how bad a post parade was. Guess who got criticized?
Yeah.
Myself. Of course, then when we did the survey at the end of the year, we actually did this. We sent out a survey to viewers who would respond. And the number 1 complaint of the viewers watching the show was the bad post parades on Facebook.
So now you have me nervous. So at the end of this year, you got a survey and they said, we don't like that wolf kid? That could be answer number 7, right?
It wouldn't be the wolf kid. It would be that old man wolf.
I know. I remember coming to this fair when I was only 2 feet tall.
Don't forget how old your youngsters are
That's
now.
true.
Field of 8. Hometown of Colt. 3-year-old Colt and Gelding Pacers. First division. $5,482 up for grabs. Move it up and move it in behind the Mike Wopkenberg starting gate.
First edition, 3-year-old Colt Pacers, top of the stretch. Here they come. They're off and pacing. Going for the lead, dive bar on the outer track. Racing down along the rail, so Rockin' Ravi. Getting away third, Levi. Pacing fourth. As they race down the backside, Adelius make money for Irvine. Natural Gem fifth. Racing sixth, Flash Gordon. Dive bar. Bad Boy Rules. As they race over the opening quarter. 29-2. And Mickey's going right down the road with Dive Bar. Under hold second, Clemens, and so Rockin' Ravi. VH Levi and Whitaker third. Up the outside, here comes Adelius McMoney. Natural Gem stays in. Flash Gordon and the trailer is Bad Boy Rolls. They're halfway home in 59 flat. Into the turn, Dive Bar, the one to catch. So Rockin' Ravi is getting second. Levi's stalled a bit on the outside third. Adidas Big Money fourth, Natural Gem fifth. Down the backside, they motor to the 3/4 mile mark. Dive Bar still there. So Rockin' Ravi's breathing fire second. Levi on the outside third. Adidas Big Money fourth. He got less than an eighth to come. 3/4, 1:28-4. And Dive Bar will cut the quarter out of the pocket. So Rockin' Ravi fly on the outside. Down the stretch. Rockin' Ravi on the outside. Dive Bar hanging in. So Rockin' Ravi. Dive Bar. Levi got the show dough.
Trying to get the order finished here, so I have it for you, and I have it. The winner, the two, So Rockin' Ravi, Brady Clemens. When I talked to him today, he says, I hope I get a few. Well, Brady, you got your first of the day.
4.
So Rockin' Ravi.
1.
Eric Nesselrode, the
29-2.
trainer. Richard and Ryan Householder of
59.
Junction City, Ohio.
128
3-year-old Galley by
fourth.
Pet Rock out of Real
157-1.
Dive Bar with Mickey Holiday was second, and
Brady
finishing
Clemens.
third was VH Levi with Derek Whitaker.
Just a fifth of a second
What was the
off
time?
the track record, 1:57-1.
57-1, so that
I'm sure that'll make Grandpa feel better.
track
Seeing-
record 157 though.
Just 1/5 off the track record.
In the 3-year-old Colt pace, 157 1/5.
That's Brady's second win in the Mount Vernon meet, and Eric Nesselrode's second training win of the 2-day Mount Vernon meet.
I'll let you keep track of Mount Vernon.
I'll do that. Mr. Nesselrode will go into a tie now with Mike Metters with 2 training wins, and Brady Clemens and Chris Presley have 2 driving wins. Chris is not with us today, so it'll be Brady's opportunity to take over.
As far as the entire season, I think we're on the 13th county fair. That is 6 wins this season for Brady Clemens. Brady Clemens now has 6 wins overall.
57-1. Big mile at the Knox County
And for
Fair.
trainer Eric Nesselrode.
This Colt will be back in action at the Pike County Fair
Might actually be the
Friday or
same
Saturday.
number because
Not sure which day the
regular
3-year-old
driver for
Pacers
Eric
go.
Nesselrode
Here's your
is
winner, just missing the
Brady
track
Clemens.
record, 57-1.
Right.
Owned by
Nesselrode's 6
Dick and Ryan Householder, Junction City, Ohio. Eric Nesselrode, the trainer. Brady Clemens does the driving. Number 2, So Rockin' Ravi. 3-year-old brown getting by Pet Rock out of Real Ravishing. Second of the season. Lifetime work here today. 157-1. Leonard Carrollton back here, that's 2 straight for him. And his sire, Pet Rock, stands at Midland Acres in Bloomingburg, Ohio. They got some good stallions.
That, by the way, is a lifetime mark for So Rockin' Ravi. The 3-year-old gelding.
Results official. Levi 3, Rockin' Ravi the winner. Flash Gordon 8, Tybar 2, Attaboy Chris 4, Bad Boys Rule 7, Adeus McMoney 5, Natural Jim 6, 29-2, 59, 128-4, just one tick of us off the track record, 57-1. 318-247-56, 157-1. Bring your horses on the track for the third.
Third race coming up. Al Miller, the trainer, will drive the 1. Arabelle's Glider. Derek Wadaker gets the call for MJ's Wishin' for Pete. Field of 6. Home Talent Colt Stakes 2-year-old Colt and Gelding Trotters, $4,077. The first of 3 divisions. Back with more in just a few moments.
Athletes, they come in all shapes and sizes. They catch, they leap, they run. Some athletes even come with 4 legs and paws and hooves. When these beloved family members need care, remember the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center. Ohio State experts wrote the book on exceptional animal care and know how to get our best friends back on their feet. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Doctor, give me the news! Is it bad credit?
It's bad credit, and you need a car.
Can I be cured?
Yes, but your case needs immediate attention. Visit lowcostcarsoh.com or lowcostcarsnorth.com today. Bad credit, no credit, don't worry. Start driving today.
I've been cured! I can get a car! Woo!
Even if you're sick with bad credit, get a great car today at either Low Cost Cars locations in Circleville and Columbus.
Third race coming up. Home Talent Colt Stake 2-year-old Colt and Gelding Trotters. Total purse is $12,131. This is the first division, $4,077. Trophy in memory of Jim Shipley, longtime speed superintendent here at the Knox County Fair. Field of 6 to go postward. Arabelle's Glider. Alan Miller, the trainer driver, shows a win last time out at Northfield in a Buckeye Stallion Series. Chris Limbs was the winning driver in 2 minutes flat. Wishing Max a win 3 back at Delaware in a qualifier in 2:03. Since then, 2 Buckeye Stallion Series events, a second and a third. The 3 is MJ's Wishing for Pete. Derek Wadaker drives for Doyle Bross. Shows a race at Washington Courthouse, finishing third in 2:08-1. The 4 is Favorite Mistake. Eric Nesselrode, the trainer. Brady Clemens, the driver, was third at Carrollton in 2:13. The final quarter was in 31-4. The 5 is A Handsome Face. Now, A Handsome Face was thought to be the best of the Rosie Weaver horses when we did Freshman Focus. Handsome Face is a half brother to a fancy face that the Burke stable had. He shows a win in Northfield in a qualifier of 59-3, but just hasn't improved since that qualifier. Was second at qualifier, 2 minutes and 4/5. They were thinking about going in the next generation with this horse, but she changed her mind at the last minute and went with one of her other horses. Don Irvine Jr. gets the call. And the 6 is Dream On It. Jimmy Smith trains and drives a 2-year-old gelding by Don't You Forget It. 2 starts, 2 seconds, both at Northfield, 201-1, 59-4. Now, Jimmy Smith is 52 years old. Now, there's a reason for me saying this. He's 52 years old. At the age of 16, he drove his very first race, an amateur race at the Meadows against yours truly.
And did you park him?
No.
He showed some mercy that day.
I beat him, but I didn't.
You didn't park him or anything like that? No. Interesting in this race, number 4, Favorite Mistake, is actually by Yankee Cruiser, which is a pacer. So must have been a mistake because it's their favorite mistake, hence the name.
I think just almost like that Break the Bank K pacer that's racing this year. I'm sure that was a mistake in the breeding shed.
Well, I'm assuming this was because they listed the name. They named this Colt Favorite Mistake. MJ's Wishing for Pete was unraced when we did the broadcast at Washington Courthouse. And if you remember, the big heavy favorite was a horse by the name of Mr. Steele. Went off stride at the start, so Mark Winters Jr. found himself on top in this Colt's very first start. Ended up finishing third, beaten 4 1/4 lengths to Mr. Steele. So broke it to start and made up enough ground to take the win.
Field of 6 Trotters. Jimmy Smith's dad, is one of the top trainers year in and year out at the Meadows. Jack Smith has a number of horses.
Now, would Jimmy Smith's colors, yellow, black, and white, have any significance with Pittsburgh? Looks like a Steeler in pirate colors to me.
They are totally different than his father's.
Okay.
His father's were kind of a maroon and black, mostly maroon if I remember correctly. But I don't know. You know, just because sons of horsemen doesn't necessarily mean that the colors follow the family tree. And the prime example there is Chip Noble and Dan Noble. Totally different colors completely.
I noticed Colt Noble, who had his first start of the season at Washington Courthouse, was actually using a set of his dad's colors. So
was he wearing his dad's colors?
He was wearing his dad's colors, so he had purple and white. So.
I wonder were they... Now, Colt is a bit taller than Dan. You know, the first time I saw Colton to know who it was, I was sitting on a trunk there, county fair last year. And I looked over and I see this young man standing beside a horse with its head out of the stall. And man, did I have visions of a young Chip Noble. And the same personality, almost totally. Very shy, not that talkative. Much like his grandpa.
Yep, Chip's family got some very good news recently.
Yeah, I'm happy to made the phone call to Deb Noble after our Board of Trustees meeting this year at Goshen to inform her that Chip Noble next year will be enshrined into the Immortal Hall of Fame.
Now, that's a little different than the normal Hall of Fame. The normal Hall of Fame,
That is a living Hall of Fame.
that is and they get voted on by writers from the United States Harness Writers Association. However, the Immortals get appointed, and so there will be no vote. He is in.
What it is, you must have passed for at least 5 years, and then he can be nominated by anybody.
Okay.
Anybody can make the nomination. And
Do you happen to know who nominated?
I
You might know who he is.
I know the individual quite well. Fact is, I wrote the nomination for him. And we didn't make it the first year, but the second year he was accepted. And a lot of that has to do who's nominated in the given
Exactly,
year,
yeah.
things like that.
All timing, unfortunately.
We knew he
memory of
would
Jim
go in
Shipley.
eventually. It just took
Number one is
a second.
Arbella's
Talk about this
Glider.
after the post parade here for the
A.J.
third.
Miller, Millersburg. Klein of Millersburg. Raber of Millersburg. Trained and trained by Alan Miller. 2 is Wishing Max. Steck of Marengo. Samoko. Walker. Burkholder. They're all the Buckeye State Steck trains with Mickey Holiday. 3 is MJ's Wishing for Pete. Joel Bross of West Portsmouth, Ohio. Bross trains with Derek Wadiker. Number 4 is Favorite Mistake. Dick and Ryan Householder of Junction City, Ohio. Nestle Road trains. Brady Clemens up. Number 5, A Handsome Face. Rosie Weaver, Beach City. Heartland Acres of Wall Hunding. Rosie Weaver, the trainer, the pilot, Don Irvine Jr. And number 6 is Dream on It. Jimmy Smith of Maslin, Larry Lynn of Berlin Center. Jimmy Smith, the trainer. Jimmy Smith will call the shots. They'll take 1 and go to the gate. Al Miller on the 1.
Before the post parade, we were talking about the Immortal Hall of Fame in Goshen, New York, and the only sad thing about the Immortal is they have to be an immortal. Unfortunately, it would have been much better if Chip would have been able to get in the Living Hall of Fame, but
The thing must be understood that for the Living Hall of Fame, a chapter of the United States Harness Writers Association must nominate. And I'm not sure whether Chip was ever nominated by a chapter or not. But
I want to say he was by Ohio a couple of times. Yeah.
Okay. And I must be brutally frank, and something that I argued against many times, because I was on that committee for 15 years that discussed the nominations. So many people judge the Living Hall of Fame by national recognition, and Chip was always put in the Buckeye or Midwest category. And I'll be very honest, he didn't get the consideration that he should have, even though he represented the United States of America in the World Driving Championship on 2 different years.
I was at Scioto Downs one night when Fred Noe
that
presented him his colors in the winner's circle at Scioto Downs.
After it was announced that he was going into the Immortal Hall of Fame, that video, and I don't know who posted it, but posted it up on Facebook, and I saw it for the very first time, and I.
Yeah, John Pavlak was in the winner's circle, and John's no longer with us, and
Chip's no longer
with us, and Fred Noe.
Good.
So,
I'm not sure what year that was, but I'm guessing early 2000.
I was gonna say 98, maybe 2000.
Yeah.
It's a biannual thing. I know we hosted it at Delaware, and it must have been odd years because we hosted it in 95.
Yeah. I hardly recognized Dan Noble in that video. I recognized Sammy, of course, Deb, and Meredith, but I hardly recognized Dan Noble. Wow, how much he has changed in the last 15 to 20 years.
Field of 6 is gathering up on the backstretch, heading towards the Mike Wokenberg starting gate. First division of the 2-year-old Colt Trot. This division going for $4,077.
Everybody goes to the gate at different speeds. the outside horses must get to that gate first, because the gate, to stay up
Spins.
tight, you must go a lot faster on the outside. Let's say 4, 5, 6 post positions, and 1, 2, and 3 kind of can lay off the gate, and you want to lay off the gate because that gate comes back and could hit you in the face. Here they come, the third of 9.
And trotting a Bella's Glider at the rail. Wishing Max on the outside second. Trotting third is MJ's Wishing for Pete. Outside fourth, A Handsome Face. Inside fifth, Dream on It. And the trailer is Favorite Mistake. Down the back lane they go. And Al Miller on the choo-choo by 4. Holiday second with Wishing Max. Trotting third, MJ's Wishing for Pete. They're by the quarter of soft 32. A Handsome Face in Irvine checking things out 4. Her racing 5 as they race around the turn. Comes Favorite Mistake. Down the stretch they come for the first time. What the Hill, Colt. And Miller shows the way, a Bella's Glider. Now here comes Whitaker on the move with MJ's Wishing for a Pete. They're by the half, 103 and 2. In at the rail, Wishing Max. A Handsome Face in Irvine tips and rolls outside fourth. Jimmy Smith to the outside with Dream It on Me. Down the backside they go, a Bella's Glider the leader. MJ's Wishing for a Pete and Whitaker second. Irvine's charging with a Handsome Face on the outside. He's by Geronimo and he's got Trot at the 3/4 mile mark. 3 quarters. 1:34 and 4. A Bella's Glider's under attack. Up on the outside. A Handsome Face. Down the lane they'll come. Miller goes to work on Elevator's Glider. A Handsome Face charging on the outside. Glider, Handsome Face on the outside. It's a Bella's Glider by half. Handsome Face. Jimmy Smith come a long way with Dream on It for third.
Arabella's Glider. Pillar to post, coast to coast, wire to wire. For trainer Alan Miller. 2-year-old gelding by What the Hill. Out of Arabella Hall. A.J. Miller. R.A. and E.A. Klein and M. Raber. Second win and 3 starts and back to back for 2 in a row.
1, 5,
in Ohio.
6. 32, 103 and 2, 134 and 4, 205. Second victory of the year for Arabella's Glider, the What a Hill Colt.
Arabella's Glider was on top going down the backstretch, and they got to the 3/4 pole, and Don Irvine pulled out with a Handsome Face, and it looked like Mr. Miller pulled the earplugs and was able to hang on to win the first division of the 2-year-old Colt Trot. Last quarter in 30 and 1.
Al Miller getting his initial.
Making his way back to the winner's circle, winner of the third, first division. Hometown stake for 2-year-old Colt Trotters, $4,077. This race in memory of Jim Shipley, owned by Alan Miller of Millersburg. E.A. Klein of Millersburg, Raber of Millersburg. Alan Miller does the training. Alan Miller in the bike. Number 1, Arabella's Glider. 2-year-old bay gelding by What the Hill out of Arabella Hall. Second of the season in 3 starts. 2:05. Earlier at Northfield, 2 minutes flat. 2 in a row in Ohio.
Oh.
I think that's patent, right?
I don't have it patent.
It's official. Arabella's Glider, the winner. Wishing Max 5. MJ's Wishing for Pete 4. Favorite Mistake 6. Handsome Face 2. Dream on It 3. 154 62 3. 32. 103 and 2. 134 and 4. 205. 154 623. 205.
I feel totally different about phrases like that. A certain announcer has a phrase that he uses in doing thoroughbred races in some harness and has it patented. I've never patented any of my phrases because I always felt it was an honor if somebody copycat, and I don't mind it one bit.
But I don't think that thoroughbred announcer feels the same.
I know he doesn't.
Because I know he's written letters to numerous.
He filed charges against myself and Jason Settlemore. Hometown Colt Stakes, 3-year-old filly trotters. First division coming up, $5,315. Keith Cash Jr. on WF Fire. Don Irvine Jr. on Savage Sparkler. 1 through 6 on the 8 to 7, a trailer in the second tier. And we're back with that fourth in just a few moments.
For over 50 years, Midland Acres has provided top-quality Ohio-bred colts and fillies. As a third-generation farm with 500 acres of pasture for breeding to boarding and on-site veterinarian care, we understand the importance of delivering well-cared-for and well-mannered yearlings. Visit us September 17th at the Pickaway County Fairgrounds and get in the winner's circle with the yearlings by Fear the Dragon, Yankee Cruiser, Pet Rock, and Long Tom. Midland Acres, doing our best to bring you the best. When you need supplies for your horse, one name stands out: Big D's. Since 1976, Big D's Tack and Vet Supply has been the equine experts you can trust. Whatever your horse needs is available at Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Visit the retail outlet in Streetsboro, Ohio, or order online at BigDWeb.com. Most orders ship that day, or call 1-800-321-2142. Big D's Tack and Vet Supply.
With more than 300,000 horses in Ohio, the economic impact of the equine industry in the state is over $2.8 billion. Much of that value comes from standardbred horse owners, breeders, trainers, and drivers who participate in the sport of harness racing. The mission of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association is to preserve, protect, promote, and serve the entire standardbred industry in Ohio and beyond. To learn more about the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association, go to ohha.com. That's ohha.com.
Man, they're really dragging these out for no mutual wagering. Only 3 races complete in the first hour. Most generally hope to get 4, maybe even closer to 5 in that first hour. Hometown year-old filly trotters, first division. As we said, $10,630. Each division, $5,315. Keith Cash Jr. on the 1, WF Fire. Don Irvine Jr. on the 3, Savage Sparkler. WF Fire has a third-place finish last time out at Carrollton in 2-4-1. Whole lot of trot. Darren Harvey, the driver, shows a win at the Meadows back in May, 56-3. And then some less than great lines until Carrollton, where the horse was a winner in 2-3-4. Savage Sparkler shows only a 4th place finish at Bucyrus. The 4, Cash Hall Filly, 4th place finish last time out at Carrollton in 2-4-1. The 5, I've Got the Will, a winner at Marion in 2-7-3, 2 back. Before that, many breaks. Actually made a break in the last effort after the win at Marion, was off stride at Bucyrus. The 6 is Winning Misty. Matthew Brown, the driver, shows a 4th place finish at Scioto in 57. Raced only at Circleville, the only fair, made a break after the start, finished with broken equipment, finished 5th in 2.9 and the 7, TT's Wonderful Lady, Wyatt Irvine drives, shows a 3rd place finish at Bucyrus in 2:03 and 3. Wyatt Irvine has been driving this horse consistently. So, field of 7 in the upcoming 4th race.
You mentioned number 7, TT's Wonderful Lady, a 3rd place finish in its last start at Bucyrus. If you go down the lines, the horse lost to Designer Specs. So there's no shame in that by any means.
Designer Specs' last effort was a winning effort. I believe that was at Bucyrus. Raced there in the 3-year-old stake.
Number 1, WF Fire, was a $6,000 purchase at the Buckeye Classic sale. Was a 3rd place finisher at its last start at Carrollton. Unfortunately, the bettors couldn't take advantage as no tickets were sold on number 1, WF Fire.
We had a lot of that at Carrollton.
Number 2, Whole Lotta Trot, out of Uncle Peter, out of a Pegasus spur mare, trots like the wind. Winner last. Number 4, Roger, without looking at the program, can you tell me the breeding of number 4, a Cash Hall filly?
Well, you would assume it's by Long Tom.
We're going to give Casey Clemens the thumbs down for the naming of the horse award because the Cash Hall filly, is winless in 3 starts. I remember the mare, though, BV Victory. He was...
That took a lot of thought to come up with the name. Sired by Cash Hall, and you get a filly. What do you call it? Cash Hall filly.
He probably was turned down for his first 7 or 8 names he turned in, so he says, forget it, just call it Cash Hall filly.
Well, let me see here. Casey Clemens, I guess that would be his father, is the one that's responsible probably for that, so we can't blame Brady.
Nope, we can't blame Brady. Rosie Weaver, I've got the will as the 5, was very impressive at Marion. Started in post 2 and ended up winning by 12 lengths. So that was one of the... Marion's always one of the first fairs of the year, so anytime you can win Circleville or Marion, that's always a good thing. Number 6 is Winning Misty. Last time out was a 4th place finish in the Buckeye Stallion Series.
There's a lot of give and take between the Buckeye Stallion Series and the various stake groups in Ohio to fill in the blank spots. You don't have it as much in the sire stake races because they'll go from one and then give a horse a couple weeks off before the next one. But for the Buckeye Stallion Series, you see horses racing at the county fairs as well.
And unlike the sire stakes, Roger, you're going to see, like a Charlie may skip a leg of the sire stakes because there's so few divisions of the 3-year-old divisions, but unfortunately you're going to have to win at least 2 divisions of the 2-year-old divisions just because there are 5 and 6 and 7 divisions sometimes.
We've already seen in the Buckeye Stallion Series where we've had 3 legs, horses that won maybe in the first 2 legs skipped the 3rd leg already. They're feeling that they've got, 2 wins under their belt, so they've basically earned a spot in the championship.
And for those who may not know, you do, once you're in the Buckeye Stallion Series, you can move up to the Ohio Sire Stakes. So there is no rules prohibiting you. The only rule is you cannot race in the same leg of both series. So the 3rd leg of the Buckeye Stallion Series, you cannot race the 3rd leg of the Ohio Sire Stakes. So late in the year when we get to Delaware.
And you can't race in both the championship and the consolation or anything like that. You're limited to the finals.
I don't think the race officials here have a lunch date or anything, Roger. They're taking their time today.
It's surprising, really.
I only see 3 on the track, and we need 7. Roger, you announced here for a number of years.
I think 19.
19 years, and if Tim can get a picture of the infield. The old judges' stand is still there.
It's there, but it's further back off the racetrack and a little to the left.
Okay.
From where it was before. What has happened here, we can't show it, I don't think, but they built a photo finish here at Mount Vernon. Well, it was when I was here, and it is not in the grandstand. It is right beside the grandstand. Built this booth at that time. And the rest of the story, we're past the statute of limitations, aren't we?
That's correct. 7 years, you're good.
Moved the photo finish booth probably 10 feet to the left. They did not move the finish wire or the judge's stand 10 feet to the left. So the very first year that they had the new photo finish booth, Dick Buxton was involved in a race. Are we able to get a shot of it? Okay, that's the new, it's new, it's probably 15 years old, maybe even longer. But the first year the new booth was in operation, Dick Buxton thought he won a race. And I can see him yet. He was up there in that main barn. And when they announced the other horse the winner, Dick come running out of that barn into the infield and ran all the way to the judge's stand and said, there is no way that I got beat. No, I won that race. They showed him the photo finish picture, and sure enough, he got beat ahead to almost a neck. He shook his head and he says, something's wrong. He says, I know I won that race. Then they surveyed to be sure that the line was correct and found the line was not correct.
While they moved the photo stand, they forgot to move the finish line.
They forgot to move the finish line. So for 1 year at least, on tight photo finishes, maybe the wrong guy got
this race sponsored by Spearman
Here's your post
Financial
parade for the
Services.
4th.
One is W.F. Fire, Herman Hagerman, Millersburg, Terrence Smith of Lancaster, Texas. Hagerman trains with Josh Case. Number 2, Whole Lotta Trot, Murdoch Racing Stable, LLC of Washington, PA, trained and trained by Darren Harvey. 3 is Savage Sparkler, Ben Miller, Millersburg, Rosie Weaver, the trainer, put down Don Irvine Jr. Number 4, Cashaw Filly, Casey Clemens, Malta High, Eric Nussero does the training, the pilot Brady Clemens. 5 is I've Got the Will, owned, trained, and driven by Rosie Weaver, Beach City, Ohio. 6 is Winning Misty, Matt Brown of Newark, Brown trains, Matt Brown the driver. And number 7, TT's Wonderful Lady, Tamir Trotters Incorporated, Worcester, Ohio, Darrell Evans Jr. the trainer, Wyatt Irvine, in the sulky. They'll take a short one and go to Big Mike.
Chris Patterson announced 7 horses, but only 6 came in front of the grandstand. And we look in the far distance, and here comes Don Irvine. They were making adjustments as he was walking to the track. And so I know the rules normally are they have to parade in front of the stands at least once. Yep. Is that even if it's a non-wagering event such as this?
Now, you threw that non-wagering thing in there. I know it's a rule by most judges, and I'm certain it is still a rule. So far, every other post parade has been pretty good. We won't blame this on the Don Irvine because there was other mistakes in that post parade before we ever got to Don Irvine.
If you've ever been here to Mount Vernon, these horses that train here year-round probably have great lower leg strength because every barn seems to be up on a little knob, and you have to go straight up to get to some of these barns.
Yeah. But I always thought these hills that are involved make it a scenic beauty.
I remember here coming as a kid, and we would never make it to the grandstand. We would just literally put our chairs there across the backstretch underneath the big trees. They were probably saplings at the time when I was a kid, though.
I can remember when Walter Cates was driving regularly at Northfield. He came to Mount Vernon one year to drive on I believe it was a Monday afternoon or something. And I can remember seeing him sit on a blanket on that hillside on the backside when he wasn't driving and watching the races.
Speaking of backstretch parties, Roger, you have a big one coming up this weekend, don't you? Isn't the Audios famous for their backstretch?
Well, the backstretch party is the Norm Parker stable party. Draws about 50 to 100 people, depending on if you add them up for the entire day. And, of course, the head of the Parker clan, Dwayne Parker, will be there with his entire family. And they're known for that party on the hill at the Meadows for the Adios. This
Swings into the
Saturday.
stretch, and here they come. They're off and trotting. WH Fire going for the lead. TT Wonderful Lady is second. Whole lot of trot outside third. Between them fourth comes Cash Hall Philly. 3 deep on the outside. There goes Winning Misty. Say fire down the backside to the opening quarter. WF Fire and Cash the leader. Winning Misty and Brown firing up on the outside to take command. Wonderful Lady is third. Racing fourth. Whole lot of trot. There by the quarter, 30 and 3. Cash Hall Philly. I've got the will. As they travel around the turn for the first time. Winning Misty. And Matt Brown looking good on the choo-choo by 2. WF Fire and Josh Cash are racing second. Wonderful Lady is third. Still parked on the outside is the 2. Whole lot of trot. Inside. Cash Hall Philly. 101 and 3. I've got the will and Rosie Weaver. The long chase on the outside. And the trailer's Savage Sparkler. Down the back lane they motor. Winning Mystery still there. Fire is racing second. Whole lot of trot on the outside third. Inside fourth, Wonderful Lady. Outside fifth, I've got the will. They rock and roll to the 3/4 mile mark. Fire still there. Racing up on the outside is Whole Lot of Trot. 132 and 3. They're at the top of the lane. Whole Lot of Trot on the outside. WF Fire and Kosh going to work. Down the lane. WF Fire. Whole lot of trot on the outside. Come to the wire. Whole lot of trot. Mine Fire. Two, 6, 1.
So your winner was a Whole Lot of Trot, who had a whole lot of trot. Sat patiently around the final turn and popped out at the head of the stretch and drove on by the pace-setting Winning Misty and Matthew Brown.
So far, nobody's been able to double up today as Darren Harvey gets the win, both as trainer and driver here in the fourth race.
6.
His second win of the week. And
30 and 3, 101 and 3, 132 and 3, 201 and 3.
Fourth win.
Back half of a minute. Last quarter in 29. Whole lot of trot. Third of the season.
Trainer.
Earlier.
I believe his
156 and 3.
4 drives. 2 is a trainer. 4 driving victories. Whole lot of trot. Owned by the Murdoch Racing Stable. Washington, PA. Darren Harvey trains and drives 3-year-old filly by Uncle Peter out of Trots Like the Win. Third win in 11 this season. Did you hear a time?
Yep, 2:01 and 3. Last quarter in 29, last half in a minute.
Bethy Murdoch holding the horse's head. Her mother and sister are the owners. Barb Murdoch, the mother, and Bethy and her sister Kelly.
It's official, top down. WF Fire 3, Whole Lotta Trot the winner. Savvy Sparkler 4, Cash-All Philly 5. I've got the Will 6, Winning Misty 2, Wonderful Lady 4. 30 and 3, 101 and 3, 132 and 3, 201 and 3. 314, 5624, 201 and 3. Bring on the track for the 5th. No changes.
Let me see your rundown. I may have the wrong rundown. Because I had Don Irvine Jr. finishing 4th.
I did too. I had 314, 5627 on the bottom.
I wasn't sure that's...
We got tripped up with the Don Irvine and Wyatt, who have the exact same colors except for different helmets.
The same colors, but a little difference in weight between the two. And there is a shade difference in the yellow.
Yeah, just slightly. So
I think one set of colors is a bit newer than the other set.
Chris Patterson announced that there were no changes in the 5th. I have Eamon Hirschberger driving the 2 BH Gold Cash.
I do too.
And we'll talk about all 6 for the 2nd division of the 2-year-old Colt in gelding trot after we come back from a few words from our sponsors.
Cool Winds Farm in Lima, Ohio is a full-service standardbred breeding facility that specializes in stallion management. Cool Winds Farm stands the popular Dancing Yankee, whose first crop hit the ground this year and are great-looking individuals. Cool Winds is also standing Rockin' Amadeus, sire of world champion Ocean Rock. Be sure to inspect the Cool Winds yearlings at the Ohio Selected Jug Sale at Pickaway on September 17th.
Your animals provide unconditional love. When they hurt, you want the best care available to help them enjoy life again. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center is here for you and for them. From heart disease to cancer, diabetes to broken bones, and 24-hour emergency services, Ohio State's team of experts make a difference in the lives of animals and the family members who love them. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center.
Last year was unique in many ways. The Little Brown Jug isn't the same without you, the fan. Make plans now to attend this year's Little Brown Jug, where history is sure to be made and a new champion will be crowned.
You win the Little Brown Jug!
The 76th Little Brown Jug is Thursday, September 23rd. Please visit littlebrownjug.com or call 1-800-DEL-FAIR to learn more about ticket packages. Be there! Yes, sirree, Bob. We're back! The Delaware County Fair, Delaware, Ohio, for the Little Brown Jug. And, it's 2 months away, but
23rd of September.
Ready. Of course, I get ready for the Little Brown Jug the day after the previous jug.
So the 76th, you were already preparing for the 75th.
Yeah.
Now I heard you're going to try to get the batteries recharged with a little vacation before the jug with your family.
Going down to Deep Creek, Maryland for a few days. And
I hope you don't find out how deep that creek really is.
No, but I went fishing last year. Hadn't gone fishing for 50 years.
Raise your hand if you can see Roger Houston fishing.
I put pictures on Facebook.
Okay.
However, I must say my My granddaughter caught more fish than I did.
She caught one?
No, she caught about 5.
Oh, okay.
5th race coming up, Hometown Colt Stakes. 2-year-old Colt and Gelding Trotters, 2nd division of a total of 3. $4,077 up for grabs. Hammond Hirschberger, the driver of the 2, BH Gold Cash. Plum Overdue. We mention this always. It is not in the state of Ohio. You do not have to have a qualifier. Other states, you must have a qualifier even to race at the fairs. But in Ohio, they've never changed the rule. No qualifiers are needed. So that's why you'll see some horses at the very first start with no information.
And you'll also see some horses that are racing at the raceways, whether it be Scioto Downs at Northfield. If they have a break or two, instead of qualifying, they'll come right to a county fair then and try to get a flat line that way.
But that is up to the race secretary at that fair whether or not to accept that line as a qualifying event. It's not automatic the way I understand it. The 2 is BH Gold. I keep wanting to say Cold Cash, but it's Gold Cash. Doug Ryan is the trainer. Ammon Hirschberger, the driver. 3 starts, no better than 7th in racing the Buckeye Stallion Series. Dropped down in class today. The 3 is Deep Storm. Bud High trains and drives this deep chip gelding. Shows 3 starts. 2 of them are second place finishes. Circleville in 2:10-1, and at Hilliard 2:10-2, with breaks in both. This horse has got a lot of speed, but he does throw in a break.
If you're going to break, you might as well break early in the mile so you have plenty of time to recover.
The 4, Long John Woody. 2-year-old gelding. Jeff Kirkbride trains and drives this Long Tom gelding. Another one without a qualifying line. The 5, One Sharp Punk. 2-year-old Colt by Storm and Norman. Steve Baker trains. Derek Wadiker, the driver. So's in the Buckeye Stallion Series at Northfield, finishing 8th. I hate to even say this. Timed in 2:12-3 without a break. The final quarter, 39-1, and got beat by 80 lengths.
Michael Carter is the charter up at Northfield, and I will give him kudos because he took the time to figure out the 80 lengths instead of just saying distanced.
I hate to say this, but I have to admit, I've never seen a charted line showing a horse beaten 80 lengths.
It would have been easy just to say distanced.
And the 6 horse, Rose Run Exalted, shows a win 3 back in 2-5-3. That was at Marion. Last 2 efforts in the Buckeye Stallion Series finished 4th and 3rd, 2-1, 2 minutes, 2 fifths.
That's 2 straight races where we've talked about Rosie Weaver having a horse that won at the Marion County Fair. Number 1 is Plum Overdue. Charles Veneron from West Virginia will be making its first start, driven by Alex Hawk. First start without any charted lines. Number 2 is BH Gold Cash. Eamon Hirschberger will get the drive for Ryan, all of Knox County, Ohio. The trainer is Doug Ryan. Number 3 is Deep Storm Bud High. This 2-year-old gelded son of Deep Chip has 3 breaks, but has 2 second-place finishes. Number 4 is Long John Woody, making its first start. The 2-year-old brown gelding by Long Tom. $8,200 purchase at Buckeye Classic sale. Jeff Kirkbride will be the trainer and driver. One Sharp Punk with Steve Baker and Derek Wadiker in the bike. As we mentioned earlier, his only start is an 8th place finish at
Two
Northfield
is
Park.
BH Gold Cash. Doug and Tom Ryan, Richard Ryan, they're all the Buckeye State.
Hey,
Doug
Alex
Ryan, the
Hawker
trainer,
showed
with
up.
Ammon Hirschberger. 3 is Deep Storm, owned, trained, and rain by Bud Eye, Cardington. 4 is Long John Woody, Mr. Dylan Andrew Drumbarger of Old Washington, trained and rained by Jeff Kirkbride. Number 5 is One Sharp Punk, Diane Baker, McConnellsville, Steve Baker, the trainer. Derek Wadiker gets the call. Number 6 is Rose Run Exalted. Rosie Weaver beats City. Joe Cramp of Northfield. Weaver trains. Don Irvine Jr. in the bike. Hammond Hirschberger drives the 2, and they're headed to the gate.
Before the post parade, we were going through the field and we stopped at number 5, so we'll finish with number 6, Rose Run Exalted. Rosie Weaver is the co-owner and trainer. She co-owns with Joseph Cramp of Northfield, Ohio. This horse has received a check in all 3 starts. The last 2 were in Buckeye Stallion Series events, a 4th place finish 2 back, and a 3rd place finish beaten 2 lengths its last start on July 19th.
You know, somebody just sent me a text, and Dana, I appreciate this text. I really do. In all the years that I came to Delaware, one of my dearest friends was John Red Shaw, and they had that memorial race for him Saturday. Tell us something about it. I understand what, 158?
Yep. Red Shaw was an auctioneer here in Knox County for a number of years, and his hobby was harness racing, and one of his best horses was a horse by the name of Victory Is Coming.
World champion,
who was trained and driven by Eamon Hirschberger, and it was the Colt co-track record holder, and Eamon Hirschberger broke that with a 158 mile Saturday in the Red Shaw Memorial. So the Dance with Somebody in Eamon Hirschberger, 158 flat.
I'm not sure of the age of Red, but I'm sure he was in his 80s at the time of his death. And the last time I saw him was at an Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association banquet, and he was just recovering from some injuries that he sustained. Serious injuries. And he was in great shape for going through what he went through. But what he went through was, he was in his 70s, I'm sure, and he was working in the haymow and lost his footing and fell out of the haymow with his leg catching on the ladder. And he hung upside down for more than an hour before somebody realized he was missing and found him. But John had the ability to laugh his head off about the entire experience. And that was John Red Shaw that I knew, and he was a great guy, and we sorely miss him. Here they come for the 5th.
Stride, plumb overdue. They're off and trotting. That's BH Gold Cash going for the lead. Deep Storm second. Off stride now went Gold Cash to the outside. So say wheel to the backside. Deep Storm has the lead. Irvine getting antsy second with Rose Run Exalted. Trotting up for 3rd. As they race down the backside, One Sharp Punk. The opening panel in 32 1/5. Deep Storm and Bud High on the engine piling to the quarter. Rose Run Exalted and Donnie Irvine, he's got the favored well-placed second. They're off that turn and down the lane they'll come for the first time. The others all made breaks as they pass the grandstand. For the first time, it's Deep Storm. Rose Run Exalted. Kirkbride 3rd with Long John Woody. Trotting 4th, it's BH Gold Cash. 104. Back trotting One Spark Punk, and the trailer is plumb overdue. Down the back lane, they're swinging and dinging. Deep Storm on top.
2.
Rose Run Exalted and Irvine is breathing fire second. Now Donnie starts to roll with him. Trotting 3rd, Long John Woody. They rock and roll to the 3/4 mile mark. 1:36. Deep Storm on a short lead. Rose Run Exalted is Breathing Fire for Donnie Irvine. On the outside, trotting third, Long John Woody. Down the stretch they come. Rose Run Exalted comes on to grab the lead. Deep Storm, good effort second. Rose Run Exalted.
They're still finishing, as this field was quite strung out to the wire. And last but not least, Plum Overdue.
Was overdue.
Rose Run Exalted, Rosie Weaver, the owner,
6,
along with
3,
Joseph Cramp,
4,
Don Irvine Jr.,
32
the
and
driver.
1,
2-year-old Kelly
104,
by Triumph and
136, 205 and 4.
Caviar. Mile 205.
Second win of the season.
Rose Run Exalted. Deep Storm was second and finishing third. Long John Woody.
Long John Woody, Jeff Kirkbride was the very first person that Roger spoke to when he got on the grounds. Is that a betting angle?
Well,
the very first person Roger sees in the...
I was looking for a place to stay when I go to Woodsfield, Ohio, and knowing Jeff from that area, he fixed me up real quick, so it was a good meeting.
Long John Woody stayed flat the entire mile, as well as Deep Storm. As we mentioned earlier, Deep Storm had a pair of second-place finishes, but he had breaks in all three of their starts, or of all his starts, sorry.
That is the 7th winning drive for Don Irvine Jr. And for Rosie Weaver, I believe that is win number 7 as a trainer. I'm going to get that exactly. Rosie. Yep. 7 wins as a trainer for Rosie Weaver.
That mile in 2:05 and 4 is the slower of the two, so the first heat is still the fastest division.
Results official. Plum Overdue 6, Gold Cash 4, Deep Storm 2, Long John Woody 3, One Sharp Punk 5, Rose Run Exalted the winner. 32 and 1, 104, 136, 205 and 4. That's 2 wins on the season for Rose Run Exalted. 6, 4, 2, 3, 5, 1 on the bottom, 205 and 4. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a driving double on today's card for Don Irvine Jr. And Junior's got 7,463 career wins.
Rosie Weaver made the first stop was to the track photographer, so I have a feeling this one might not stand very well. She's got a good hold on it.
Rosie's one of my all-time favorites because she gave me the opportunity during the filming of Freshman Focus to jog a 2-year-old in his stable.
Do you remember the 2-year-old's name?
Creatine Deluxe.
And how is Creatine Deluxe doing?
1 start and a 5th place finish. Rosie says, I think the Colt will be a much better 3-year-old than a 2-year-old.
Did she say it would much better after you jogged it too?
I says, wasn't my fault that it didn't make the races too well this year. She said, no, not at all.
That's one of your favorite things to do, Roger, is jog week. I always see you out there at least one day.
Yeah. I even contemplated driving in the Billings Amateur Trot this year until I told Neville, and
Alice says, what did Neville say? Can I just picture her face when you told her?
She said absolutely not.
No.
But I had the horse and everything. One of Ron Steck's.
The 6th race is a 3-year-old Colt Pace, 2nd division, field of 7, scratched down to a field of 6. We'll talk about all 6 when we come back after these messages.
For over 50 years, Midland Acres has provided top-quality Ohio-bred colts and fillies. As a third-generation farm with 500 acres of pasture for breeding to boarding and on-site veterinarian care, we understand the importance of delivering well-cared-for and well-mannered yearlings. Visit us September 17th at the Pickaway County Fairgrounds and get in the winner's circle with the yearlings by Fear the Dragon, Yankee Cruiser, Pet Rock, and Long Tom. Midland Acres, doing our best to bring you the best. When you need supplies for your horse, one name stands out: Big D's. Since 1976, Big D's Tack and Vet Supply has been the equine experts you can trust. Whatever your horse needs is available at Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Visit the retail outlet in Streetsboro, Ohio, or order online at bigdweb.com. Most orders ship that day, or call 1-800-321-2142. Big D's Tack and Vet Supply.
Selling your horse? Sell for free. No fees, no commissions. The only free auction site in the industry. There's no problem selling your horse at harnesshorseauction.com.
This being the 26th day of July, it won't be long. Next Monday, I won't do it on, well, I'm trying to think when I'll be back in the office. Wednesday, Thursday. Probably not until the 5th or 6th of August. I'll be back in the office because I got Lisbon and Xenia next week on the road. But we will have our drawing for the prize package for a viewer out there who is registered. When you watch the races, if you haven't registered for the month of July, be sure you put your home location to be eligible for that prize package. Now, what that prize package consists is a 100-year pictorial issue on harness racing, old-time pictures and stuff. And then there's another book that's called, what's the name of that book?
The something or other?
Roger Houston, The Voice, or
something like that.
Yeah.
Was
something
that
like that.
Don Houston, the track announcer at Lebanon all those years?
No.
Roger, you said.
One of those young guys that got started. But anyway, we'll put a copy of my book as well in that prize package, and we'll autograph.
I was going to
both
say, and I'm
books
sure it'll be an autographed edition.
and send to. Hey, we autographed a T-shirt yesterday.
I heard. Now, registering is easy. You only have to do it once per month, correct? You don't have to do it every time you watch, but.
Actually, I would say you don't even really, if you've registered once, it's good for the entire year as far as that goes.
Well, that wouldn't be fun because we want people to watch us every day.
Well, believe me, I've seen the numbers. Our return viewership is probably in the 75 to 80% bracket each broadcast, believe it. One thing I have noticed, there's a difference between the afternoon broadcast viewer and the twilight or evening viewer. The two different groups of people there.
So let's just say during the day, I might be at work, and it says G. Wolf is watching.
I'm beginning to laugh, folks. I'm sorry. I'm beginning to laugh at this scenario. I mean, how in the world do I know that my horse just won in 55 and 2, or 52 and 4 at Pocono?
Well, I have to take care of you because I knew you were working at Washington Courthouse.
Well, I appreciate those efforts. Yes, I'm partial ownership of a mare by the name of Globetrotting. I think she's the mare, isn't she?
Yep, that's 4-year-old mare.
4-year-old mare, Globetrotting. Partial ownership, 3%. And she just won back-to-back at Pocono, this time in 152 and 4/5. Wow.
And I'm a part owner of that group as well.
Oh,
the Ohio group?
The Ohio group?
Yes.
Oh, that's why you like Slim Jimmy.
I love Slim Jimmy. Slim Jimmy is racing Thursday, I believe, at Northfield Park. Non-winners of 2.
Well, speaking of racing, here in the 6th race, it's a home talent Colt stake, 3-year-old Colt and gelding pace, 2nd division for $5,382, just 2 divisions. BB Wrangler, Keith Cash Jr., the driver, winner 3 back at Northfield in 57 and 2. Did race at Carrollton, finishing 3rd in 2-5 and 2. The 2 horses, Stall Lee with Mickey Holiday, shows a win at Northfield in 156 and 1, was 2nd at Hilliard in 201. Storm and High with Alex Hawk shows a third place finish at Carrollton in 2:02. Let's Terror, Don Irvine Jr., the driver, was second at Carrollton in 2:1 Sandy J for Darren Harvey shows a third place finish at Northfield in 58 of late, and then fifth at Hilliard's in 1:59 3. The 6 horse is scratched. The 7 is Lucky Ludwig. Brady Clemens, this time for Melvin Byler, third at Wellston in 2 minutes and 3/5. So with the scratch of the 6, that means 1 through 5 will be on the gate. The 7 must remain as a trailer in the second tier. The rules are, in the event of a scratch, you can move in, but you cannot move forward. Therefore, 7 must remain a trailer in the second tier.
But the 7 can pick any of the ones in front of them to leave for behind.
If there's just one trailer.
If there is one trailer. Roger, a lot of times we talk about the expensive yearling purchases.
Yeah.
If you like bargain basement prices, this is the race for you. Half of the field now was purchased at yearling auction for less than $4,800. Number 2, Stall Lee, was purchased for $4,700. Number 5, Sandy J, for just $3,000, and Lucky Ludwig for just $3,500. So some bargains here in the 6th.
Stall Lee's won $20,000 lifetime. Sandy J has won $14,000 lifetime, and Lucky Ludwig has won $13,000 lifetime, $12,000 of it this season.
Lucky Ludwig with 3 wins and 13 seasonal starts. Unfortunately, none of them are in the last 6 races.
For 3-year-old Colt Pacers.
We'll go up to Chris
This
Patterson
race
for the
sponsored by
post parade for the
Utica Feed
6th.
and Hardware, $5,382. Number 1 is BB Wrangler, owned and trained by Isaiah Shrake of Navarre, Ohio. Josh Cash. 2 is Stolly. Ronnie Steck owns and trains Marengo. The driver, Mickey Holiday. 3 is Stormin' High. Karen Bright of New Marshallville, Ohio. Ricky Williams, the trainer. Alex Hawk gets the call. 4 is Let's Terra, owned and trained by Herman Hagerman of Millersburg, Ohio, with Don Irvine Jr. 5 is Sandy J. Darren Harvey owns, trains, and drives Canton, Ohio. 6 is out. Number 7, Lucky Ludwig. Melvin Byler, Salesville. Byler trains Brady Clemens. Scratch the 6. I like the 4. Let's
Field of 6 to go postward here, 1 through 5 on the gate, 7 a trailer in the second tier. 3-year-old Colt Gelding Pacers to go to the post. Southwind Wrangler, Artificial, Nob Hill High, Western Terror, Sand Shooter, and Do Me That Again. 6 different stallions represented here in race number 6.
Number 1, BB Wrangler. Last start was a 3rd place finish at Carrollton. Before that, the last 5 charted lines that we can see were all at Northfield Park. Number 2, Stolly, owned and trained by Ron Steck. Ron Steck's been doing this an awfully long time. This horse has a 2nd place finish at Hilliard on July 18th. Number 3, Storming High, Rick Williams is the trainer, Alex Hawk the driver. This horse at Wellston 2-back led the field into the stretch, but faded to 4th last quarter in 32, but the race was timed in 59 3, so quick mile for the Wellston Oval. Number 4, Let's Terror, 2nd place finish last time out at Carrollton. Was individually timed in 2:01 and 2. Don Irvine has been on this one its last 5 starts. Number 5, Sandy J. Darren Harvey looks to get a 2nd of the day, 3rd of the weekend. This $3,000 yearling purchase has made nearly $15,000 in 21 lifetime starts. Number 6 has been drawn, and number 7 is Lucky Ludwig. Third place finish
Field of
last
6.
time out at Wellston, Ohio. 3 for
Find the big
13.
Mike
This year,
Walkenberg
3 of
starting
17
game.
lifetime.
I should have never
Here they
said
come.
to Herman Hagerman what I said before the races. He had 5 wins at Carrollton. I says, if you got 5 wins today, he says, who knows? He's looking for 1.
They're up and pacing. BB Wrangler heads for the lead, storming high on the outside. Stolly gets away third. In at the rail fourth, Lucky Ludwig. Up on the outside, Sandy J. And Lutz Terra and Don Irvine trails, but he's up the rail. Down the back lane, Cash and BB Wrangler by a length and a quarter. Racing second, it's Stormy High and Hawk. Stolly is third. 31 seconds. Around the turn fourth, Lucky Ludwig, Sandy J. And Lutz Terra's really going to have to rally for Irvine. They're off that turn and down the lane. They'll motor for the first time. BB Wrangler on top. Racing second, Storm and High and Hawk. Stolly third. 101 up on the outside. Lucky Ludwig. In at the rail comes Stolly as they race to the backside and the 3/4 mile mark. On top, BB Wrangler. Storm and High second. Lucky Ludwig leads room, but on the outside third moving up is Let's Terra with Don Irvine Jr.
130 and 2.
3/4 knocked off 130 and 2, and BB Wrangler stays on top by half. Lutz Terra and Irvine just got slugged by the War Club on the outside second. Storm and High third. Head down the stretch they come. BB Wrangler dig in. Lutz Terra and Irvine on the outside. Wrangler. Lutz Terra on the outside. BB Wrangler in a thriller. Lutz Terra.
2 minutes.
Stolly was third. In 2 minutes.
2 minutes flat. BB Wrangler and Keith Gash Jr. face off the challenge of Let's Terror and Don Irvine Jr. BB Wrangler, Isaiah Shrake of Navarre, Ohio, the owner and the trainer. Keith Gash Jr., the driver, 3-year-old got him a Southwind Wrangler out of True Redemption. A winner in 2 minutes flat. Let's Terror was second, and Storm and High, Alex Hawk, finished third.
Last half in 59. So the trophy by Utica Feed and Hardware will go to the first division, which was 157 and 1, just a fifth off the track record. Few races previously.
And for Keith Cash Jr., see what he has done this year.
Keith doesn't race too often at the fairs, mostly at Northfield Park.
He has second win of the season at the fairs. And who's the trainer? Isaiah Shrake. Probably his first.
He has 4 wins at the raceways and or the fairs.
It is his first win
So it's
at the fairs.
5th overall. Looked like the Rockettes going down the backstretch, Roger. I saw more drivers' feet in the air. Everyone was kicking out the earplugs in the same
hometown stake for 3-year-old
same
Colt
portion of the
Pacers.
track.
Utica Feed and Hardware, the trophy donor, $5,382. Owned by Elijah Shrake of Navarre, Ohio. Elijah Shrake, the trainer. Josh Cash, the winning driver. Number 1, BB Wrangler. 3-year-old bay gelding by Southwind Wrangler. Second of the season, 2 minutes.
Did Isaiah win an award last year?
I don't remember, since it was virtual. I believe he might be in the same barn or near Amy Haller's husband's barn, because when there was some stories written about Isaiah earlier this year, either by the USTA, I think.
Bring them on the track for the 7th. We're just about ready to go official for the 6th. In the 7th, scratch the 7. Number 2, to Gloria, Wyatt Irvine.
Did he give the order finish yet?
He has not.
We ran into that problem down at the Warren County Fair in Lebanon where they kept forgetting to
give the rundown.
The rundowns.
The 7th, we'll look a little bit ahead, is the 2-year-old filly pace, second division of the 2-year-old filly trot. I'm sorry if I said pace. It is a field of 7 that has been scratched down to a field of 6.
Wrangler, the winner. Stolly, 4. Stormin' High, 3. Let's Terra, 2. Sandy J, 6. 6 was scratched. 7, Lucky Ludwig, 5. 1, 4, 3. 2, 6, scratch, 5. 31, 101, 130 and 2. 2 minutes. 1, 4, 3, 2, 6, scratch, 5. Let's have him for race number 7.
We'll be back with more after these messages.
Cool Winds Farm in Lima, Ohio is a full-service standardbred breeding facility that specializes in stallion management. Cool Winds Farm stands the popular Dancing Yankee, whose first crop hit the ground this year and are great-looking individuals. Cool Winds is also standing Rockin' Amadeus, sire of world champion Ocean Rock. Be sure to inspect the Cool Winds yearlings at the Ohio Selected Jug Sale at Pickaway on September 17th.
Doctor, give me the news! Is it bad credit?
It's bad credit, and you need a car.
Can I be cured?
Yes, but your case needs immediate attention. Visit lowcostcarsoh.com or lowcostcarsnorth.com today. Bad credit, no credit, don't worry. Start driving today.
I've been cured! I can get a car! Woo!
Even if you're sick with bad credit, get a great car today at either Low Cost Cars locations in Circleville and Columbus.
Buying or selling a racehorse? OnGate.com is your one-stop website. OnGate has changed the way racehorses are bought and sold. Easy-to-view listings makes it easy to find your next champion. Buy or sell at OnGate.com.
Seventh race coming up. Wyatt Irvine drives the 2, Tuscaloria. 2-year-old filly by Southwind Toscano. Scratch to 7, we go. 1 through 6, all on the gate. Home Talent Colt Stakes, 2-year-old filly trot coming up. Second division for $5,982. What do we got here in this 7th race, Jay?
We have a field of 6, as you mentioned, the scratch of We Go. Number 1 is China Sioux. Last start was July 20th at Scioto Downs in the Buckeye Stallion Series. A lot of letters in this line. We have a head at the quarter, leading by a head at the quarter, but was impeded with broken equipment, was 9th placed 8, individually timed in 2:04 and 1. Jimmy Smith was in the bike that day. Number 2 is Tuscaloria. This is the first time out for the black Southwind Toscano filly, owned by Riceland Acres, trained by Daniel Miller. Wyatt Irvine will get the drive today. Number 3, Ladies on Fire. Urban Hagerman trains Don Irvine Jr. This horse was a 4th place finisher at Carrollton. Number 4, B Jammin' was scratched sick at Wellston, so this brown filly by DeJambro will be making its first start. Number 5 is Awesome Sarah. Deborah DeWolf is listed as the driver and trainer and owner. This horse was 3rd in its first start at Paulding, finished 4th at Marion, so 2 checks and 2 starts. Number 6 is Merritt Keith Cash Jr., co-owner and trainer Isaiah Shrake. Will be looking to go back-to-back here at the Knox County Fair. This horse was 4th place finisher at Carrollton, and was 7th in the opening leg of the Buckeye Stallion Series at Northfield Park. That is your field of 6.
We were hoping to get an interview with a young lady that was in the winner's circle earlier, but apparently she's here to pick up her purse checks, but they're a little slow-handed on them out, so I don't know if we're going to get to talk to her or not before they go to the post here in the 7th. But it signifies me that when they come over here to pick up the purse checks, they're ready to leave the grounds.
Exactly. They don't trust the U.S. Postal Service anymore.
Well, my point is I don't want to hold her up and getting home.
No.
Because they got a long drive back. Well, I don't know. I don't know if she's with the Hagerman stable. She, last time I saw her was down at the State Fair of West Virginia, and she was working with Herman Hagerman's stable. And, I'm not sure who the trainer was on that earlier race that they won. Darren Harvey was listed as a trainer.
And if you've ever been by Roger, his ringtone is The Little Brown Jug by the Glenn Miller Orchestra. That's dedication. So field of 6 are now out on the track. Track announcer Chris Patterson is asked for them to line up and parade for the post for the 7th. This is the 2nd division of World Filly Trot. Total purse is $12,064. This division for $5,982. Take a look at my notes. I'll tell you what the 1st division went for. First division was the very first race of the day, which was 2:04 and 2. So that will be the time to beat.
Second division for 2-year-old filly trotters. Trophy by the Cool Winds Farm, $5,982. Number 1 is China Sioux, Wishing Star Racing LLC of Millersburg, Ohio. She's trained and reined by Jimmy Smith. Number 2 is Tuscaloria, Riceland Acres LLC of Orville, Ohio. Danny Miller, the trainer. Wyatt Irvine gets the call. 3 is Ladies on Fire, Top Shelf Stable, Brewster, Ohio. Herman Hagerman trains, Don Irvine Jr. Number 4 is B. Jammin', Cheryl Vigeron of Williamstown, West Virginia. Chuck Vigeron, the trainer, with Alex Hawk. 5 is Awesome Sarah, home trained and reined by Debbie DeWolf, Mount Gilead, Ohio. Number 6, Merritt, Isaiah Strake. Navarre, Mike Sunland of Dalton. Shrake trains, Keith Cash. 7's out. I'm going to go with the 1, China Sioux.
We're back here after the post parade. Roger's doing his best to try to coax this poor young lady onto going on the air. She says no. Roger says
she's been a friend for so many. She's been a friend for so many years. She was in the winner's circle. She's got to be happy today. Bethy Murdoch, big win this afternoon.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, I really want to know, how's Mom and Kelly doing?
Good.
You're good?
Yep.
Now, are you totally with the horses now?
No, I'm still work at the post office.
She is a rural mail carrier, but is involved in harness racing as well. The family itself, how many horses do you guys have now?
17 right now.
17? Mm-hmm. You're about ready to retire from the postal service, aren't you?
Yeah, soon. I'd like to.
Okay. Bethy, thank you. Well, that wasn't too hard, was it?
No, it wasn't too bad.
Well, I have a question. If she's a rural mail carrier, she doesn't trust the mail to get her purse check?
I actually don't carry mail anymore. I'm actually a manager for the post office
you're
now.
manager.
Yeah.
She has climbed the ladder.
Thank you.
She doesn't trust it to get her purse checks, though.
That's
She wants
right.
that. She wants the cash in hand before she leaves the ground.
Guess what? I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Bethy, tell your mom and sister hi for me, will you? Thank you ever so much. Take care, hon.
I don't like cameras.
It was much easier to convince her to go on the air when she found out there was no cameras involved.
Oh. Well, we can arrange that if you want to. I'll tell you, there's no reason she should be shy from a camera. Cute us a picture.
Field of 6 2-year-old filly
It
trotters.
is amazing how people get scared to death when they get that microphone.
Well, he
up.
put that microphone up there. Yeah. Did you get a thank you letter or anything from Roxy's handlers?
No. I don't think they have her name or anything.
He was, what we're referring to is at Washington Courthouse, they had the wiener dog races, and they had the preliminary rounds before the harness races and the final rounds, and we were with Roxy for much of the day. So.
And she finished third.
Yes.
Except for a little miscue out of the gate.
Oh, dogs were running everywhere. They were running sideways, backwards.
I think she was more scared of the other dogs than anything.
Which I don't blame her.
Here they come, 2-year-old filly trotters.
Here they come. Off stride, China Sioux. Off stride, Benjamin. They're up and trotting. Awesome Sarah in the middle of the track goes for the lead. Tuscarora down along the rail second. Racing up the inside from third. Ladies on Fire. Trotting fourth. That's Tuscarora, China Sioux, and the trailer is Benjamin. They go to the opening quarter. Debbie DeRoof has Awesome Sarah on the engine. 33 and 2. Cash rolling on the outside with Merritt. They'll do battles. They swing and ding for the lane the first time. On top of the field, it's Awesome Sarah. Merritt up on the outside with Cash second. Trotting third, Tuscarora racing fourth. Ladies on Fire. Benjamin and the trailer, China Sioux. They're by the half in 105. Into the turn they go. The long shot, Awesome Sarah, Debbie DeWolf leads the way. Racing up on the inside, now second. Coming on. It's Merritt as they travel to the 3/4 mile mark. Up on the outside. Merritt takes command. 136 and 1. Here comes Wyatt with a burst on the outside with Tuscarora. Down the lane they come. Merritt will dig in. Tuscarora firing on the outside. Merritt, Tuscarora on the outside. Merritt in a thriller.
So the winner is Merritt. Keith Cash Jr. for Isaiah Shrek as they go back to back in races 6 and 7.
Number 2, Tuscarora. The groom needed to put the leg wrap on a little tighter because she had like a ribbon floating behind her as she was trotting down the lane.
6, 2, 5, 33 and 2, 105, 136, 206 and 4. Merritt,
36 and 1.
first of the season. Change at 3/4 to 136 and 1.
So
Trophy
Isaiah
will go
Shrek
to the
goes
first
back to
race
back.
winner. fastest of the divisions. First race.
Merritt. 2-year-old filly by Creatine out of Grand Cameron. Isaiah Strake and Michael Sunland, the owners of Navarre and Dalton, Ohio. Isaiah Strake, the trainer. Keith Cash Jr. in the sulky. His third this season at the fairs.
This is a driving double on today's card for owner Isaiah Strake.
It's a thrill to get one. It's a bigger thrill to make it 2 in a row. In Ohio.
You could even be more specific and say in Mount Vernon, Ohio.
2-year-old brown filly by Crestline Graham. 206 and 4. That's a driving double on today's card for Josh Cash. China Sioux 5. Tuscarora 2. Ladies on Fire 4. Be Jammin' 6. Awesome Sarah 3. Merritt the winner. Bottom was out. 33 and 2. 105. 136 and 1. 206 and 4. 524 631. Scratch. 206 and 4.
Give me that top down again.
Top down, 524 631. Scratch on the bottom.
So that wraps up the 7th race. We got 8 and 9 remaining here at the Knox County Fair in Mount Vernon, Ohio. Jason Thompson drives the 1. Long time loving you. The 3 is sealed with approval. Keith Cash Jr. Field of 7, 1 through 6 in the gate, 7 a trailer, second tier. 3-year-old filly trotters are up next after these messages.
The Knox County Fairgrounds in Mount Vernon, Ohio has been a popular place since 1895. The grounds were originally home to an amusement resort known as Lake Hiawatha Park. Guests would arrive at the front gates on a state-of-the-art electric trolley. The lake retreat was complete with a billiard and dance hall, theaters, restaurants, and a zoo. By the mid-20th century, the park fell out of fashion. The land would become home to the Knox County Fair. The fair dates back further than its establishment at Lake Hiawatha Park. Local township farmer clubs held gatherings as early as the 1840s. Those clubs would soon form the Knox County Agricultural Society and host the first county-wide fair. For several years, the fair moved from location to location. Grains, fruit, and livestock were exhibited for a single day at the town courthouse, in churches, or even the jailhouse property. The fair would outgrow all of these spaces and demand a permanent place to call home. In 1894, the fair made its move to Lake Hiawatha Park. One of the biggest advantages of the park was its racetrack. Automobile and horse racing were popular during this time. The county fair took advantage, hosting pacers and trotters annually. For 2021, the Knox County Fair holds 2 days of live action racing as a member of the Home Talent Colt Stakes.
History, tradition. For over 100 years, 2- and 3-year-old trotters and pacers have started their careers on the tracks of the Home Talent Colt Stakes. See the future stars of Ohio harness racing at one of the Home Talent's 15 tracks. The stars of tomorrow are racing at a track near you today. The Home Talent Colt Stakes. You can't win them if you aren't in them. Last year was unique in many ways. The Little Brown Jug isn't the same without you, the fan. Make plans now to attend this year's Little Brown Jug, where history is sure to be made and a new champion will be crowned. You win the Little Brown Jug! The The 76th Little Brown Jug is Thursday, September 23rd. Please visit littlebrownjug.com or call 1-800-DEL-FAIR to learn more about ticket packages. Be there! Jay, the Jug just less than 2 months away. Ticket sales well underway, and chance for people to come back and enjoy the number one event in the Buckeye State each year on a Thursday afternoon.
We would love to see everyone back. Just pretend like last year never existed.
How do they get tickets?
They can call the fair office, which is 1-800-DEL-FAIR, DELFAIR. Jen and the staff in the fair office will be glad to assist them. If they go to the littlebrownjug.com website, you can take a look at the various prices, and it will also have the phone number there to call.
Now, the way I understand, a lot of people had purchased tickets for last year.
That's correct.
And they had the option of either getting a refund or letting them carry over. Yeah. And I understand vast majority let them carry over to this year.
Yes, a true vast majority just said, just leave my ticket money there and we'll roll it over to next year. So looking for great things.
Yeah.
It's always fun this time of year. You don't want to get too excited because a lot can happen between now and the third week in September, but looks like to be a very deep field of 3-year-old Colt Pacers.
Your opinion on the movement of the North American Cup to September the 12th?
The final, which is, 12 days before the Jug, doesn't hurt, but the problems with the North America Cup moving where they are, the eliminations will be held the same week as the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes Final and the same weekend as the Ohio Sire Stakes Final. So there is still 2 more ways to get in the Jug. You can win the Cane Pace, which will be held Hambletonian Day at the Meadowlands, and win the North America Cup, which is traditionally Father's Day weekend up at Mohawk Park, but it was moved due to COVID to, I believe it's 11 or 12 days before the Jug. So when you look at it on the surface, it looks like a fine date for us. However, there's owners that are not going to skip the Sire Stakes finals, especially here in the state of Ohio and the state of Pennsylvania, to race in the eliminations. So,
For example, I know for a fact that Don Tiger says he's not going for the North American Cup. He's rather racing the Director of Agricultural Pace and also the Sire Stake Championship in Ohio.
So, so what Roger's referring to, the State Fair Stakes, is the same weekend as the Cane Pace, which is on Hambletonian. The Hambletonian will be raced in the afternoon, and the Ohio Sire Stakes, I believe it is the 2-year-old Colt Pace, the 3-year-old Colt Pace, and the 3-year-old Colt Trot will all be held on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And that's always a conflict with the Hambletonian, but those are the last 2 ways for Mr. Tiger to get into the Little Brown Jug.
I think he is outside of his appeal, which will not even be decided until well after the Jug, I'm guessing. I think he's realized he's not going to be in the Little Brown Jug, but will be in the Ohio Breeders' Championship.
So, for once, you're disappointed.
I am disappointed.
I'm sure you've had the opportunity to hear Don Tiger, whether it's through the races at Carrollton. Mm-hmm. He was in this position at Carrollton, and
did you know what he was doing at Carrollton?
Well, I heard there was no
track photographer. What do we got?
Well, number 1 was Long Time Loving You. Eamon Hirschberger was originally down to drive, but then they changed it to Jason Thompson.
Right.
But Jason Thompson already had a drive in this race, so now Alex Hawk will be driving. If you're keeping track at home, that's $100 in potential fines.
Everybody but Hawk.
Yeah.
Jay is being facetious.
No.
You're not being facetious.
No, you are correct. I am being facetious.
Keith Cash Jr. drives the 3, sealed with approval. Field of 7 to go postward. In this 3-year-old filly Trot. previous best time was in the fourth race, 2:01 3/5. That was turned in by a whole lot of trot, the first division.
I see 6 on the track.
I've seen people fish in Hiawatha Lake.
Okay.
Not this year, but in years past.
Since you're the big fisherman now.
Yeah.
We haven't post-paraded.
We have picked up the tempo ever so slightly. That might be with less warm-ups to take place, but I don't think the horse out there we see go on the mile is a warm-up. Surely is in this race.
I think that is Alex Hawk.
Scoring you down pretty briskly.
Either that or Eamon Hirschberger. They got very similar colors from as far away as... Looks like Eamon Hirschberger here at the 7.
It is. Justified Victory.
Goring down.
And he has a tight hold. Wow.
Justified Victory is coming off of victory at the Hilliard Fair by a scant nose in 2:04 4.
Post parade, race 8.
For the 8th, second division for 3-year-old Colt Pacers. Trophy by Spearman Financial Services, $5,315. Number 1 is Longtime Lovin' You. Owned and trained by Dan Hale of Utica. Alex Hawk will drive. 2 is Hot Ice. Lanny Merriman of Ken. Linda Bogcroft of Michigan. Merriman trains. The driver, Jason Thompson. 3 is Sealed with Approval. Leased by Joe Cramp of Northfield. Cramp trains. The driver, Josh Cash. 4 is Charming Nancy. First Up Racing of Beach City, Ohio. Trained and trained by Vernon Beachy. 5 is Elegant GG. Trained and owned by Rosie Weaver of Beach City. Don Irvine Jr. up. 6 is Fauna. VHR Racing, LLC of Rochester Hills, Michigan. Trained and driven by Sean Smith Peters. And number 7, Justed Victory. Andrew Hirschberger of Wall Hunting. Hammond Hirschberger trains and drives. Hawk on the 1, Cash on the 3.
And the 1 horse is just now making the way to the racetrack. That is Longtime Lovin' You with Alex Hawk.
They probably couldn't find Alex Hawk because it was a late driver's change.
He probably didn't know he was driving the horse.
1 Longtime Loving You. Been racing exclusively at the fairs. Has made just 2 starts this season. Is 0 for 11 lifetime. Number 2 is Hot Ice. Jason Thompson for Lanny Merriman, who co-owns with Linda Main. This horse is 0 for 6 on the year. All 6 starts that we can see have been on half-mile tracks, whether it's at Northfield, or Carrollton. Number 3, Sealed with Approval, is leased by trainer Joe Cramp, Keith Cash Jr. Last start was on June 30th, 6th place finish, and a non-winners of 1. Number 4, Charming Nancy. This is an interesting one. This horse was undefeated in its first 3 starts of the season, all at Northfield Park. Fastest time of 55 4. The last 2 starts has made nothing but breaks. Was 8th distance with broken equipment. Its last start was 5th place, 7th, 17 3/4 lengths, 2 back. Elegant GG. Rosie Weaver owns, trains. Don Irvine Jr. drives. This horse has been in the top 3, 18 of 25 lifetime starts. So this has been a reliable paycheck for Rosie Weaver. This horse was a $7,500 purchase at the Buckeye Classic sale. Was back-to-back winners on the 14th and 28th of June at Northfield in Marion, Ohio. Number 6 is Fauna. Broke at the start last time out on July 19th at Hilliard. Was 5th timed in 2:10 4. 0 for 19 lifetime. Sean Smith Peters trains and drives. In the second tier, number 7, Justified Victory. As we mentioned, Eamon Hirschberger trains and drives. This horse was a nose winner at Hilliard on the 19th.
Elegant Gigi Buckeye Classic sale, $7,500 is earned, $53,800. Definitely earning a lot more than the purchase price. Here they come, our penultimate of the day.
All stride, Gigi. They're rough and trotting, long time loving you, going for the lead. Hot Ice up on the outside second. Into the turn. That's Fauna racing third. Ducking fourth. As they head to the backside. Sealed with approval. And the trailer. Elegant Gigi broke at the start. Down the back lane. Hawk on top with Long Time Loving You. Hot Ice and Thompson is second. 31 and 2. Justified Victory trots third. Charming Nancy up on the outside fourth. Fauna sealed with approval. They're off the turn and down the lane. They'll motor for the first time. Being led by the long shot. Long Time Loving You, and Hawk says catch me if you can. In the pocket is Hot Ice. Rolling up on the outside, Charming Nancy third. On the outside, Justified Victory. They're by the half in 102. Fauna down along the cones as they race around the turn. On top, Long Time Loving You. Up on the outside. As they race to the 3/4 mile mark. Beachy to the front now with Charmin' Nancy. Went a big mile. Now, Justified Victory will come on the outside second. From way back, High Ice is pinned. He got a little better than 8 to come. 3/4, 133. It's Charmin' Nancy, the leader. Justified Victory will take dead aim on the outside second. And down the stretch they trot. Charmin' Nancy going for win number 4 on the season. Charmin' Nancy, Vernon Beachy. Justified Victory, sealed with approval.
Unofficially, 4-7-3. I want to apologize to Rosie Weaver because I gave her the Tom Pye curse by bragging about how consistent.
4-7-3. 31 and 2, 102, 133, 202. Back half in a minute, last quarter in 29.
Did not add to that today.
Nope.
Sealed with approval. Was third. Charmin' Nancy, her 4th win.
Vernon Beachy with his initial win of the day.
He won one on Saturday evening, so that's 2 training wins for the weekend, 2 driving wins for the weekend.
For the season, Vernon Beachy's now got 5 wins as a driver. And as a trainer, 5 wins. As he is
Trophy will go to race 4 winner.
Driver.
Trophy in this division goes to race 4 winner.
Did you get the time?
I didn't hear. Charming Nancy, 202. Last half in a minute, last quarter 29. Charming Nancy's connections are hoping that this is the first of another 3-race winning streak. This horse started the season 3 for 3, but had 2 breaks. And
back to the winner's circle, winner of the 8th second division for 3-year-old filly trotters. Trophy by Spearman Financial Services. First up, Racing Stable beats City of Ohio. Vernon Beachy trains her. Vernon Beachy, the winning driver. Number 4, Charmin' Nancy. 3-year-old bay filly by Uncle Peter. 4th win of the season. And of course, Uncle Peter stands at the Hickory Lane Farm in Findlay, Ohio. All inquiries to Brad Wallace. 55 and 4 earlier. at Soda Downs. This baby can trot. It's official. Long time loving you 6, Hot Ice 5, Sealed with Approval 3, Charming Nancy the winner, Elegant Gigi 7, Fauna 4, Justified Victory 2, 31 and 2, 102, 133, 202. Back half of a minute, last quarter 29. 653, 17, 42 on the bottom, 202. Bring on the track for the 9th. Jason Thompson on the 1. We got an owner change on the 2. Freddie Domino. It's Melrose Stable of Hopewell. Fred Domino, Melrose Stable, Hopewell. Mickey Holiday 4. Holiday 4. Wyatt Irvine 5.
Vernon Beachy, his colors are just missing a couple diamonds, and he would look just like Joe Bongiorno's colors.
A little heavier.
Gray and maroon.
Did he announce a driver change on the 2?
He announced an owner change on the 2.
Owner change to Melsheimer.
Melrose Farms and Delilo or something to that effect. We apologize to the new owners.
Have you ever been to their training site there in Zanesville?
I have not.
It's worth a trip over. Beautiful facility. 9th race coming up, our final 2-year-old Colt and Gelding Trotters after these important messages.
Athletes, they come in all shapes and sizes. They catch, they leap, they run. Some athletes even come with 4 legs and paws and hooves. When these beloved family members need care, remember the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center. Ohio State experts wrote the book on exceptional animal care and know how to get our best friends back on their feet. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center.
For over 50 years, Midland Acres has provided top-quality Ohio-bred colts and fillies. As a third-generation farm with 500 acres of pasture for breeding to boarding and on-site veterinarian care, we understand the importance of delivering well-cared-for and well-mannered yearlings. Visit us September 17th at the Pickaway County Fairgrounds and get in the winner's circle with the yearlings by Fear the Dragon, Yankee Cruiser, Pet Rock, and Long Tom. Midland Acres, doing our best to bring you the best.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Own a little, love a lot.
Definitely love it a lot. So did you honestly think I was just looking up your horses and would give you the results? I was doing it for myself, too.
I appreciate your efforts. You're better at following that than I am. Field of 5. Hometown Colt Stakes, 2-year-old Colt and Gelding Trot. 3rd division, $12,131. 2-year-old trotters, Colt trotters. The 3rd race remains the fastest. 2:05 effort by Arabella's Glider. Arabella's Glider. 2:05. Other division was won by Rose Run Exalted, 2, 5, and 4. So the time to beat is 2:05. How do you want to pronounce the 2 horse?
Freddie Mo.
Freddie Mo?
Fredimo? I like Freddie Mo.
by Storm and Norman. Now, She Likes to Dance.
With the new owners, they could call it anything, right? They can change the pronunciation.
And believe me, that has been done quite frequently.
If you've enjoyed what you've heard this afternoon, don't forget that they'll be broadcasting live from Tiffin, Ohio, which I believe is Seneca County. They will be starting at 6 o'clock. Big day, a triple header for the OHHA today, right? Marysville at 11, Knox County at noon, and Seneca County at 6. So all three today.
I didn't have Tiffin down on my list here. Had Marysville down, but I forgot about Tiffin. I look up all the results and post on Facebook, so in case you ever want to know who won or the fastest winners in the various stakes, we post that on Facebook page.
Do you do that on a laptop or you do that on your phone?
I do that on my phone, only because I've got
all
over
the pictures.
4,500 pictures
This
in my
race in
phone.
memory of Jim Shipley,
And if I want to put a picture up,
$3,977.
and occasionally I do.
One is Trapper
And,
Man.
I'll take this opportunity
Dave
to
Yoder,
thank
Seneca,
Raymond
South Carolina.
Lance at
Marion Chuck,
Northfield
the trainer.
and
The
Brad
driver,
Conrad,
Jason Thompson.
Scioto for
Redemo, Melrose
making
Stable,
so many
Hopewell, trained
photos
and trained
available
by
to
John
us
Ryan
because,
Melsheimer.
you know, on a Facebook post,
Owned, trained,
if
and
it's
trained
just
by Darren Harvey.
words compared
Beast
to
of
a post
Delaware.
with picture,
Frederick Reed
you
IV,
get
Delaware,
twice as
stack
many
trains
views
with Mickey
if
Holiday.
it's a picture included.
And number 5, TT's Isobar. Tamara Trotters Incorporated of Worcester. Darrell Evans Jr., the trainer. Wyatt Irvine.
Sorry, we spoke over the early part of the post parade. Number 1 is Trapper Man. Jason Thompson will drive for Marion Chupp, owned by David Yoder of Seneca, South Carolina. Number 2 is Freddie Mo, owned and trained by John Ryan Melsheimer. We have some new owners that include Belle Rose. Number 3 is First Over. Darren Harvey owns, trains, and drives. Number 4, Beast of Delaware. Mickey Holiday will drive for Ron Steck and owner Frederick Reed. And rounding out the field of 5, TT's Isobar, Wyatt Irvine for Darrell Evans and Tamara Trotters of Worcester, Ohio.
You know what record Beast of Delaware holds?
I do not know.
The very first county fair winner of 2021. Won the first race at Paulding.
There you go. And you could tell that if you download our free programs. You could see that on the 14th of June, right next to Paulding, there is a number 1, and that would mean the first race. So the winningest fair horse in Ohio for at least 15 minutes.
I love the name.
Beast of Delaware.
Fact is, it was one of Beasts of Delaware was one of the horses we featured with Freshman Focus when we were with Ron Steck.
Frederick Reed owns a car dealership in Delaware.
Oh, really?
Just north of town, so he's literally probably a mile from the Delaware County Fairgrounds, the Horseman's Gate.
On 23.
On 23. Freddie's Autos.
You know, this is a wild story. The other day, Ashley Daly, who works with the OHHA and myself, was making a trip to WDLR to record some commercials and some harness racing history. And I drove to the back gate at Delaware, Ohio, without ever thinking.
So you went to the fairgrounds instead of the radio station.
Fairgrounds instead of the radio station. It was on my. She said, I was going to ask you why you're going to the fairgrounds, but I just thought, well, he's got a reason or something.
Roger. All roads lead to the Delaware County Fairgrounds.
Yeah. They do for me, I guess. They do for me. Yeah.
Mike calls him in. Post time for the 9th.
Field of 5. Yeah, we found the culprit. It's in the antenna. It's got to be. In behind the Mike Wilkenberg starting gate, this is the final event.
Top of the stretch.
Knox County Fair.
Here they come.
Chris Patterson with the call.
TT's Isobars on a break. They're up and trotting. First over, and Darren Harvey sprinting for the lead. Trapper Man and Thompson got away second. Fredimo and Melsheimer third. Mickey Holiday fourth with Beast of Delaware. TT's Isobar made a break before the start. Down the back lane they go. Harvey on top with first over. Piling to the quarter. Trapper Man is second. Fredimo trots third. Beast of Delaware fourth. Isobar the trailer five. They rock and roll to the opening quarter, being led by first over. 33 and 2. Soft quarter 33 and 2. Trapper Man and the colors of Jason Thompson second. Racing down along the rail third. It's Fredimo. Back fourth. Beast of Delaware and Isobar. They pass by the stands for the first time, out and rolling on the outside. Trapper Man and Thompson to the front end. First over back to second. Fredimo third, 105. Beast of Delaware fourth. TT's Isobars trotting five. Into the turn they motor. The What the Hill filly shows the way. Trapper Man by two. Racing second, it's first over. Fredimo, under a tap of the whip, is third. Beast of Delaware and Isobar. Down the back lane they go, and off stride went Trapper Man. Trapper Man made a break on the front end. 137 around the turn. First over comes on now to grab the lead. Here comes Fredimo. First time starter with Melsheimer to the outside, and he just curved and made a break. So it's all first over, and Darren Harvey showing his heels to the field. Take them, judges, for other positions. First over by as many.
So it's first over. Darren Harvey trains and drives and owns the 2-year-old gelding by Creatine, Miss Lulu. Second start and a winning one.
3, 1, 4, unofficial. 33 and 2, 105, 137, 209 and 3. That's first overs, first of the season.
Now that's unofficial. Judges will think about those breaks.
Race 3 will get the trophy, 205.
We had a race. First over was a liar because it really was on top for the first half mile. Trapper Man took the lead confidently at the half-mile station, and first over sat patiently in the pocket and capitalized on Trapper Man's break.
Got a judge's inquiry and a foul claim.
Final turn. Freddie
2 against somebody. Top of the stretch. Darren, get somebody to hold your horse. Don't come to the winner's circle till I tell you.
Judges will take a look here at the action at the top of the stretch the second time. An objection has been filed by the 2. Ready,
Darren, stay on the backside.
So what normally happens in this situation is the driver
Foul claim 2 against 3. Ledge interference, top of the stretch.
Talk to Mike Wilkenberg.
They also take the opportunity to look at the videotape of Trot and Pace Marketing.
Mike Wilkenberg had the starting gate in the infield thinking he was done for the day, so he is turning around and heading back to the draw gate, and we'll talk to the unofficial
Race
winner,
3 gets the blanket,
Darren
Todd.
Harvey.
Race
First
3.
over. If this win would stand, Darren Harvey would pick up his second of the day, third of the 2-day meet here, and with that win, he will be the leading driver for the 2-day Knox County Fair.
Who would be?
Darren Harvey.
How many did you win Saturday?
He had one, so he had one Saturday, 2 today for 3 total.
Yeah.
That is, of course, if the results stand as announced. We are nowhere near our inquiry record of Saturday. I think we had 4 straight in the middle of the card. Darren Harvey must feel fairly confident. He is heading back towards the winner's circle after speaking to the starting judge, Mike Wokenberg. Nice breeze all of a sudden, Roger.
Keep it up.
No reason for disqualification. Here's your winner, number 3, first over, Darren Harvey of Canton. Darren Harvey trains. Darren Harvey, the winning driver. 2:09.3. That's his first of the season. 2-year-old brown gelding by Crete Time out of Miss Lulu.
I mean, I will say that.
2:09.3. It's official. Trapper Man 2. Fremino 5. First over the winner. Beast of Delaware 3. Isobar 4. 33-2. 105. 137. 2:09.3. 2-5, 1-3, 4 on the bottom, 2:09.3. Fans, that completes your racing this year at the Knox County Fair. Don't forget, I'll be at Piketon Friday and Saturday. Piketon at 5 on Friday, noon on Saturday with pari-mutuel wagering. For now, this has been your track announcer, Patterson from Cambridge, Ohio. Enjoy the rest of the week of the fair. Stay safe. God bless.
Well, that wraps her up for today at the Knox County Fair in Mount Vernon, Ohio. Jay Wolf.
Good 2 days of racing. We saw a track record Saturday in the trot. We
2-year-old pace.
We saw a mile today that was 1/5 off the all-age track record of 57. As I mentioned, Darren Harvey picked up his 3rd win of the weekend, his 2nd training win. So a good meet for Mr. Harvey.
Good meet for all winners.
Absolutely. So
Next up on OHHA today will be what?
Tiffin.
Time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. You know those things better than I do.
We're not sure who's doing it, but we know somebody will be at Tiffin.
My next gig will be tomorrow night at Scioto Downs, and then Wednesday night I'll be at the Shelby County Fair in Sydney with track announcer Doug Ballinger. So
that's Doug's hometown, correct?
No, he's from Salina.
Sydney, Salina, I'm sorry.
Announced in Sydney a long time ago. For trot and pace marketing, I forget what there. Trot and pace marketing, Jay Wolf, yours truly, Roger Houston. Thank you for watching today. Watch again this afternoon, and by all means, always be there.
This has been Ohio County Fair Racing. Ohio County Fair Racing is brought to you by thestable.ca, the Ohio State University Veterinary Medical Center, Midland Acres, Cool Winds Farm, and Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Ohio County Fair Racing is a presentation of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association.